I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! That's right. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning. I am John Greaves III, co-founder of Garage Gym Life. And thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. This is, in my opinion, the best fitness show on YouTube. Is definitely the only morning fitness talk show at this hour on a Friday. That's what you got to do. Like, you got to like subdivide into like categories until you make sure that you're the only one. But now, seriously, I think that this is honestly one of the best things that you can watch on YouTube, because we cover the topics that matter to the home gym community. We do it in a fun way, and we get your live reactions to it in the process. We also speak to people who are influential across home gym culture, from the people who make the equipment that make the home gym lifestyle possible to some of the content creators who tell us about that equipment. And like I said, this is a lot of fun. So if this is your first time checking out the show, please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe. If you are already subscribed to the channel, do me a favor and share this video with someone who you think might enjoy watching this. Like I said, we've got a really, really cool show today. If this is your first time checking our show out, you are in for a treat. So to prove it, let me go ahead and tell you what's on the menu for today. First hour, we're going to have news and other things. So that's now, basically. We're going to have news and other things. Then we're going to have a brand new Recliner of Rage. I'm actually going to move Recliner of Rage slightly around. Typically, I have Recliner of Rage, and then we'll move into the next segment. But this time, we're going to do the segment after news and other things. I'm sorry, we're going to flip-flop Recliner of Rage. So we're going to have React and Respond. Okay? And I have a React and Respond segment. And then after the first item, we're going to go into Recliner of Rage, because Recliner of Rage relates to an item from React and Respond. And then we're going to go back to React and Respond and finish that out. And then in the third hour, we've got Matt Baleanu, who is the Director of Product Innovation and Strategy for RitFit. And I'm super proud of myself for pronouncing his name correctly. But anyway, he's going to be joining us at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, which will be 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 5 a.m. Pacific. Matt is going to be joining the show to answer your questions about existing RitFit products. And he promises that he's got exciting updates about existing products. I think he said he's got 4 product updates, and he's also announcing, he's either got 4 product updates and he's announcing 5 new products, or it's 5 new products and 4 product updates. In either case, we've got 9 bits of news about products from RitFit coming from Matt. And he's also going to answer your questions about existing products too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This will be our first time having, we've gone live with him before, but it was on Instagram. So this will be our first time having Matt on the show. And I cannot wait to get him in here and pick his brain. I think his journey is also going to be interesting to you guys, because he started out as an independent product consultant. And then he moved from that into what he does now full-time for RitFit. So now that we know who is who's going to be on the show, let's go and check out who is in the building. So my guy Carlos is first in the building. He says, happy Friday, all. Let's rock with the host with the most. Hey, what's up, my man? Good to have you here. Let's see. Jared was the next. He said, what's good, people? Good morning. Good morning, Jared. Hope you're feeling better, man. Be healing up. Hey, Trevor came with the right attitude. T-Dog19 said, let's get weird this morning. Buckle up. Buckle up, my man. Hey, Daniel Forster. Hey, all the way from Brazil. What's up, Daniel? Got to get you back on the show. And I cannot wait. Daniel said he's going to have me on his podcast soon. So I am eager to do that. I cannot wait, man. But glad to have you here in the building. My man, Eric Echols. What's up, Eric? He said, morning party people. What's up, Eric? Hope you're having a good day at work so far. And Carlos gives, hey, I appreciate that, because once again, every week I have to say this. If something goes wrong with my sound, if the microphone starts acting weird or it sounds weird to you guys, I can't hear it. These headphones are for me to hear my guests when I'm interviewing somebody. So actually, technically, I don't even need to have them on right now. I could I could literally do this because I cannot hear myself. All right. I can't hear myself on those. I only need them when I have a guest on the show. So what I need from you guys is to always tell me if my mic sounds nice or not. And I appreciate it. All right. What's up, Martin? What's up? Got the Albert Einstein thumbnail. So what's up, my man? Appreciate it. Let's see here. No, Trevor, I'm not trying to confuse you. It just you'll see why it makes the most sense. All right, we got 640 people watching right now. All of y'all are gonna see why I move things around the way I did. All right, so in any case, now that we know who's here and you know what's going on, one more time, let me ask you again. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe. If you have already liked and subscribed and you would like to support the show, there's two ways you can do that. Number one, we take super chats. So basically, we can take that super chat of any amount, and that money goes right back into the show. It goes into microphones, headphones, all that kind of stuff that you need to run a show run the show well. And the other way is by becoming a member of the channel. So let's go ahead and show you how you can do that too. There is a join button. Check this out. Hey, I don't want you to just watch this video. I need you to like, subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, I want you to join our channel for 99 cents a month so you can help us improve YouTube for the home gym community. Okay, back to the video. All right, so all you got to do is click that join button. If you're already a subscriber, where subscribe used to be, you'll see a join button. Go ahead and click that join button. You become a member for 99 cents a month. You get access to all of our behind the scenes videos. For example, we do all of our unboxing and assembly videos. We do them raw and unedited, and you get to see that here. Naomi's and I live raw reaction to every product that we get in here that we then do reviews on, because we take the stuff for our first impressions videos. We take the B-roll for that from the raw unboxing video. So if you guys want to check that out, you can go ahead and check that out by becoming a channel member. And we do appreciate all of you guys' support. Appreciate that. All right. Now, let's see here. So let's go ahead. Now that we know all that, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first segment, which is news and other things. Okay, so first things first, you know, the first thing, as always, that we do whenever we go to news and other things is we go and we check to see who has done their homework. So, you know what that means? Get yourself ready, ladies. That's right. It is the first screen share of the day. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. Calm down. There we go. All right. First screen share of the day. And that is, let's go here. Boom. All right. So viewer posts. So we got, all right. So this one I have not had a chance to watch yet. But Carp put a link to it. So Carp has he's got a YouTube video on the ATX PRX 780 flat foot power rack. As you can see from the thumbnail, it won't tip over. So you guys need to go ahead and I don't know if it looks like he did not put the link there. So let me see something here. I'm gonna do you a solid, Carp. Let's see here. Oh, there it is right there. Boom. Right there on my feed now. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna check this out. Put these on. If I can get this right. Maybe I shouldn't take these off. All right, so we're going to share this tab. Look at him in the action pose. All right, so this is the video. I'm going to copy that. All right, so let's go here. Make sure you guys.
Hey, guys, welcome back to the gym. Coach Carp here. Another home gym video. Today, we're going to be going over this PRX 780 rack from ATX. Now, if you're not familiar with ATX, they are a German company that has not quite been selling in the U.S. yet. They have been at Home Gym Con the last 2 years. So if you weren't there, they made a big splash. This is their newest flagship line. This is
okay. Hold up a second here. So while we're getting Carp some free watch time, and y'all saw that I did the right thing and I clicked like already, right? But I'm posting the link to Carp's video in the live chat, and I'm going to put it in the video description as well, so you guys will be able to check it out. But if you guys are like me, like when y'all saw this right here, when this happened.
Not familiar with ATX. They are.
Let's see here. Go ahead and let that play. Hang on a second. We get to the part because I do this every time. Okay. Did y'all start immediately checking to see who you know in the picture? All right. And then I did it again in the other one. Right there. I was like, okay, hold. So let's see. I see. So there's Rob over there. And see, I'm trying to see, like, okay, who immediately I was like, well, who do I know? Who's in the background? Who do I see? All right. Rob is the only one I could pick out right off the bat, but I know there's some other people if I had some more time. But I don't know. Did you guys automatically start doing that? Because I just think that's funny. Anyway, you guys make sure that you go ahead and you check out Carp's video. I have put that in the link. I've put the link in the live chat, and like I said, I'm going to put it in the video description for the replay gang. Shout out to the replay gang, especially since Carp is the dang. I'm trying to remember. I think Joey Echeverria is the president of the replay gang, but Carp is the vice president. So yeah, so definitely y'all got to make sure that you check out my man Carp's video. All right. Let's see here. Daniel says, yes, soon we have a podcast set up here to increase our home gym community here in Brazil. Perfect, man. Just reach out. All you gotta do is just shoot me a DM, Daniel, and I'm definitely there. All you gotta do is ask. I'm happy to do it. Let's see here. Letha Cannon. Hey, what's up? All the way from Alabama. It says viewing from Alabama. Hey, I know why you're here, Letha. So I appreciate you tuning in early. We are going to be Matt's gonna be on in about 2 hours. So if you need to jet out for something and come back, that's cool. But if you want to hang out and just be part of the discussion, we'd love to have you. Letha is so cool. She's one of the people who we met at the RitFit showroom in Chino Hills a few weeks ago. And she's got a nice home gym. She and her daughter are just awesome people. Loved meeting you guys. All right. Jared says he likes the Mastonomic shirt design. Oh, Carp's probably got like a closet. He's probably got let's call it a wing. He's got one wing of his closet dedicated to Mastonomic stuff. Trevor, I guess you can be the treasurer. I'm not in charge of the FOC. I'm just a proud and humble member of the Friends of Carp. But yeah, sure. You know what? Let's go ahead and vote. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, you're the treasurer. I don't know what sort of funds we actually have for you to manage, but you're the treasurer now. And Trevor has a question for you, Letha. Wants to know War Eagle or Roll Tide. So he wants to know who you support as far as Alabama football or Alabama sports. And that is a serious thing, okay? I still remember when this has nothing to do with anything home gym related, but I remember when that guy went and sprayed the tree with herbicide and got locked up. They put him in jail because he sprayed this tree. Alabama don't play around with their football. I'm telling you. All right. Anyway. All right. So let's keep moving on before we lose all 1,022 of the people who are watching. Let's see here. And where we at? Moving on to the next item. All right. All right. So let's go back to community. All right. So next item is from Carlos. Carlos took some shots for his written review of the Macola. I think we saw that last week. So, all right. Yeah, we saw that last week. So it looks like the only person who was putting something new up was Carp. And we appreciate that. You guys need to start. I need y'all to start posting in the community post section because I want to get that thing going. The community post section is a way for us to engage, with each other, go back and forth. You can show me this stuff. A lot of y'all, the reason why I think it's important is because a lot of you guys send me DMs. And while that's nice, a lot of times when you guys send me DMs, that stuff is stuff that I think that other people would enjoy seeing. So rather than me then trying to figure out ways to show it, just link it. If you post it on Instagram, post the link on YouTube so that we can then all check it out. All right. No, I did not see it. You just sent me a DM. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, Jared. As far as I know, you just sent. Well, I mean, you may have DM'd other people, but I only saw the DM. So there you go. All right. And Angel Lopez, creator of some of the best pizza in California. What's up, my man? I tried to message you in the RitFit Facebook group, Angel, because I was gonna try to let you know about the fact that Matt was gonna be on, but I should have known that you'd already know. So I'm happy to have you here, my man. And I hope you brought all your questions. Jared says the number of live viewers on these shows. Wow. Hope you're feeling great about the success and momentum of this show. Dude, yesterday, answer your question. Yesterday, Naomi and I were putting together a proposal package for trying to get sponsors for an event that we're trying to make happen later in a couple of months. And we were talking about, and one of the things we said was we were going to promote this thing on this show. And as we were doing it, we said, you know what? We're asking us, like, are we at the point where we can, instead of just saying our live morning show, are we at the point where we can say our popular live morning show? Because we are at the point where, I mean, momentum is growing. And, you know, now this is not the most popular content that we have on the channel. Surprisingly enough, the most popular content on a consistent basis are the vlogs that Naomi and I do. She's got several vlogs that are over 10,000 views, and I've got, most of mine are like in the 4,000, 5,000 range, but I've got one, last time I checked, I've got at least one vlog that is over 11,000 views right now, which is crazy because, you know, you always think that people's attention span is short, and those vlogs are like, I mean, anywhere from 20 minutes to, I've got one that's over an hour long, and people are just watching. Like, I've had a couple people tell me that in the comments that they watch the vlogs while they're working out, which is the point, which is how I intend for people to watch it. You know, it's supposed to be like it's something you can watch while you consume while you're doing something else. So yeah, but to answer your question, Jared, I'm more than I feel good. I'm also humbled, but I'm also motivated because I want to get this show to there are a couple more steps or places where I want the show to go. And so I'm not slowing down. In fact, I'm like, this motivates me to mash the gas. So yeah. All right. Let's see here. Jared says you posted it 4 days ago in community. I did not see it. Let's go ahead and let's see here. I'll check it out. I'll check it right now. I don't want to derail the show, but I do not. Also, I want to make sure that I don't overlook your post. So viewer post. All right, let me try this. Maybe let's go to newest. Maybe that's why I didn't see it. Okay, yeah. So I had to change the filter. All right, so let's go ahead and let's share the screen right now so you guys can all see it. Boom. All right, so yes, you did. Did I actually even interact? So these are Jared posted. So these are some 6-inch plate horns that Jared got from Dean of Black Widow. Said he bought 5/8 threaded rod from Home Depot so that he could put them like they are, and they're at the very top of his Synergy Custom Fitness adjustable dumbbell rack. You know what? I think my daughter said something about this. I remember my daughter saying that she liked this. So I don't remember what she said, but I think she said that she liked, literally my 10-year-old self. She said, "Oh, that's cool." Yeah, so you guys can check that out right there. That is cool. And I love how you're using all of the available space because, I mean, seriously, that's out of the way. It looks like it's super high, but obviously it's, you know, not so high that you can't get it down, but it's definitely out of the way. And those Synergy Custom Fitness racks are nice and solid, so you don't have to worry about them tipping over at all. So yeah, that's dope. I like that. I appreciate that, Jared. My bad for I didn't see it. All right. Let's see here. Now let's move on to the next news item. So X Master by the way, I'm not going to say that. Xmaster has a new product that's going on sale tomorrow. I believe it's going to go live tomorrow at 11 a.m. And they did a what you call a post about it, a teaser post. So let's go ahead and see if we got this here. Yep, there it is right there. So let's screen share that so you guys can check it out. I don't think the sound is on. I'll make sure the sound's on. Oh, no, we turn the sound off because you ain't about to get my show demonetized. All right, so there you go. All right, so one of the things you guys can see right there is how stable this plyo box is. So this is an EPP plyo box, and if you don't know what that is, like I didn't, I reached out to Will Wu from Xmaster, and basically it's expanded polypropylene, okay? And expanded propylene is high density. It's got a durable surface. It holds up to heavy usage. And Will said what he wanted to make sure of was that the plyo box was going to be stable, but at the same time lightweight. So it's easy for you to move it around, and then it's stable. And he said it's going to have an extremely affordable price. So that is dropping once again. And I was right, yeah. Is dropping Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So if you've been looking for a plyo box for your home gym, you need to check out the Xmaster website. Now, my recommendations to you are, if you're going to check out the Xmaster website, go to Instagram and click the link in their bio. Do not just Google Xmaster, because if you Google Xmaster, the first result you get is not going to be, especially if you don't have safe search on, the first result is not going to be good. Okay. So go be smart, go to the Instagram, the Xmaster Instagram. And in fact, I'll even, here, let's see here. I'll give you guys the Xmaster Instagram right here. Xmaster official. All right. So I'm going to post that in the live chat right there. All right. So and then I'll post that link in the video description as well. So go to there, then go to the link in their bio, and go grab that plyo box tomorrow if you've been looking for one. All right. Now, that being said, when I was talking to Will yesterday, he said they have more drops planned before Black Friday. So what I want to know is, what do you guys hope to see, especially if you were at Home Gym Con and saw some of their prototypes? What do you guys hope to see released from Xmaster between now and Black Friday? They've already, and just so you guys can see what's already out, let's see here. I'm going to do what I told y'all not to do. But I have a cheat code because I've searched their website enough times that I've got it permanently. I'm not clearing my history as far as that goes. I keep it in there because I don't want to see the other thing that pops up. So let's go here. So this is Xmaster website. Let me share the screen. They got a ton of stuff on their website. The last thing I was looking at was their benches, but they got a ton of stuff there. What is something that you guys are hoping to see from Xmaster? Let's see here. Let's see. Jared says JB also posted 6 days ago. He said try. Yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to sort by newest so that I could see it, because for some reason it defaults to top posts, which to me should still show all the posts. But if it defaults to top posts, it doesn't show all the posts. So yeah, I just had to remember to sort by newest. Let's see here. Hey, Matt. Hey, congratulations to Matt, by the way. Let's pause this for a second here. Stop sharing. Congratulations to Matt, because Matt is officially a Bells of Steel affiliate. He was accepted, and now he's going to start getting some Bells of Steel stuff. So I am extremely curious to find out what Matt is going to add to his home gym first from Bells of Steel. But I'm so proud of you, man, because the Bells of Steel checked out your Instagram. You had the dialogue with him, and you took action, and yeah, he's an affiliate. So I don't know if he's their first UK affiliate or not, but I know you're on the on the leading edge of that thing, because they're trying to expand into the UK big. So man, I'm so proud of you, and I think you're affiliated with a great company, and I wish you nothing but the best success. All right. Now let's see here. Question from Jared: do the X Master benches take attachments? That is an excellent question. I don't know, man. Let's share the screen. Let's find out together. We got time. We got a little bit. We don't have a ton of time, but let's find out. So these benches definitely don't look like they take attachments. The fixed bench, in a sense, it takes attachments, because I think you can lock it into the power rack with these little. I want to say you can with these little. Nope, those are wheels. So no, you can't lock it into the power rack. So no. All right, and that's a lat pull down seat. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that their benches do not take attachments. Now let's see something. Let me see here. Do they have anything that takes attachments as far as benches go? Looks like no. So that's actually a good question. However, I will tell you that Will is scheduled to come on the show on October 17th, which will be the week after X Master sponsors the Olympia. So that'll be one of the questions we can ask him about. We can ask him whether or not they have any plans to add benches, add the ability to take attachments to any of their benches. That's actually a really good question. All right. Home Gym Gains. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Kevin says a nice short sleeve barbell with a stainless option would be nice. And he said, I'll take X Master Fitness's urethane plate over reps any day. Dude, I'm telling you, there are a lot of companies that are coming out with some high quality weight plates now, because the standard is just continuously being raised. And I'm a big fan of it. To be honest with you, I even liked the plates that I saw at RitFit. They were prototypes, but I just like what's happening as far as plates. I think Weighted Out definitely raised the standard as far as the thinness of plates and making them available, making thin plates available. Because I remember like 10 years ago, if you wanted thin plates, you'd have to get kilo plates, kilo competition plates. If you wanted pound plates and you wanted thin plates, pretty much you can just hang that up. So. And that's just like a simple thing. The amount of colors you can get now, the options, all that stuff is like off the charts, and it is great to see it. And then definitely bumper plates have come a long way, because I remember when bumper plates used to be huge. You could get like maybe 3 bumper plates on 3 45-pound bumper plates onto your bar sleeve, and then that's it. Maybe 4 at the outside, and so it was really limiting. So I'm really glad that we had that. Plates have come a long way. Matt said, yeah, buddy, waiting for the stuff to land in the UK so I could do some shopping. He says, anyone in the UK use code SAYIN. Hey, do it. Make sure you guys, if you're in the, when Home Gym Physique shows up, I'm going to tell them, hey, you need to get some Bells of Steel stuff. Make sure you use promo code SAYIN. And, something, I want to say this. This is not something I plan on saying, but I was in the RitFit Facebook group looking at, trying to promote the fact that Matt was going to be on the show. And I saw somebody say something. Now, I knew people did this, but it was just crazy actually seeing it. And this person said that when he watches reviews of any product, he said he basically doesn't use the reviewer's promo code, right? He said, I'm like, I don't understand that. But he said he doesn't, even if he watches the person's review, because he thinks that the person's review might be biased, because they get paid, he doesn't pay them. Instead, he uses ChatGPT to look for discount codes online. So that's yet another reason. If anybody wants to know why content creators are, I don't want to say bitter, but we are always vocal about how we don't make a lot of money for putting up the content that we do. It's because of stuff like that. So people are like, oh, you're just shilling for this or that. I'm like, I promise you, I'm not making a ton of money off of product reviews, okay? And the way I do them is a whole lot different from a lot of people. And we still don't make a ton of money off of product reviews. So, but it was disappointing for somebody to say, and this is not a shot at the Facebook group, but it's just disappointing for me to see that somebody says that they watch the videos, so they consume they consume the content that we took our time and effort to make, but then instead of using the code in the video to at least, support the person whose work they just watched, he'll just use ChatGPT to look for discount codes on purpose so that the person doesn't get any credit. That's sad, man. That's sad. All right, now next item, we've got the slightly scuffed sale from Microgains. So got this in my inbox the other day, and let's go ahead and move this off here so you guys can see it. So it's the slightly scuffed sale from Microgains, minor scratches and big savings. So Mike said these are not their best looking weights, but they definitely get the job done and save you even more money. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna let Mike explain to you guys what the deal is with the sale, so you guys can check that out. Throw this on here. Give me just a second. Throw it here. Boom. All right. Move that, and now we screen share this. Boom, and let's turn the sound on.
Blemishes, scratches, dings, but are fully able to be used and go on to dumbbells and barbells. Just cosmetically, there might be a few imperfections. Here we have 1 1/4 dumbbell plates in various colors, black, red, couple.
Okay, I see. I hear music, about to try to get me demonetized. So basically, you guys just read this. So it says we're gonna have 8 to 10 plate sets, some in color, some in 1-inch black plates. So that's a dumbbell plate. He's pointing out the cosmetic imperfections. You're gonna save up to 40% on select Microgains products. So that includes the dumbbell plates, the barbell plates, and the gym pin that Microgains sells. And by the way, that is the official gym pin. They are the official US distributor for gym pin. But this is obviously while supplies last, but the sale does run through Monday. So if you are looking for Microgains plates, and I am a huge fan, I'm a huge fan of Microgains plates. I use them every time I do any kind of barbell work in the gym. So essentially, that's 4 days out of 7, I use my Microgains plates. It is 100%, in my opinion, a good, worthwhile purchase, especially if you are into making incremental progress. I don't like having, I know that some people like to take like a weight and then you just keep on grinding at that same weight until you hit a certain rep number, a rep goal. I ain't into that, because some days you're going to get, let's say your goal is 10 reps, right? And the first time you do it, you get 5. Okay, well, then the next time you do it, depending on how much rest you've had, you might get 4. So now you feel like you're taking a step backwards, even though you kind of didn't. The next week you get 6. Then you might get 5 again. It's just up and down. To me, it's just iffy. I like to make steady progress. So I rather start lighter than I can handle and incrementally move up until I hit my goal weight. And by the time I get there, I usually can do it for more reps, just because I've built up not only muscle, but also my tendons and ligaments in the process. So yeah, that's my thing. And so Kevin said, so if you guys haven't watched Kevin's Anchor review, you definitely need to check it out. Kevin, go ahead, put the link to it in the live chat. That's what Kevin said. That's where his rant came from. So he went on a minor rant in that, right? And he said, I was defending some creators in my space. He said, no kidding, I actually trimmed down the video because it felt too aggressive. I mean, it didn't feel aggressive to me, but obviously I'm one of the people you're defending. So as far as content creators go, it didn't feel too aggressive to me. Matt said, I won't promote anything unless I think it's good quality and I use it myself. If I get offered money by a trash product, I will turn it down every time. But that's the thing. Most of us say that. But the people who watch these reviews refuse to believe it. And they also refuse to support us because no matter how much you tell them that, no matter how much you tell them that you only promote products that you like and that you give your honest opinion, no matter how much you can see, you put in the video, oh, I didn't like this about this product, I liked this. No matter how much you do that, they still say, yeah, well, you're still getting paid to promote it. So I'm like, okay. All right, dude, that's fine. First of all, that's a very cynical view of the universe, so I kind of feel sorry for those people. But literally, you watched my video, and if you watch my video and then you decide to buy the product yourself, and then you go out of your way to look for a discount code, I don't see how the idea that our opinion was biased should even play a role in your decision to go get a discount code from somewhere else, because you're going to buy the product. See what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't make any sense to me. It'd be different if you said, all right, I watched the video and I decided not to buy it. Okay, cool. Well, in which case you're not using the code anyway. But if you watch the video and then you decide to buy the product, why are you going to go out of your way, use the extra time to look for a discount code just to make sure you don't support the creator whose work helped you decide whether to buy the product or not? Somebody explain that. Oh, yeah, they're definitely okay with watching your content. And don't put it behind any kind of paywall like members only or anything like that, because then they won't watch it. Nobody, people don't want to become, that's another thing. People hesitate, like they don't want to become YouTube. Obviously I got a vested interest in saying this, but I set my channel membership at 99 cents a month. Literally, channel membership, if you want to belong to my channel, support, even if you don't watch, I got people who join the channel who don't watch any of the videos. They don't watch any of the members only videos. They just wanted to support us. And I don't understand that, but I appreciate them too, right? But literally, I set it so that it's less than $15 a year. It is literally less than $12 a year. Okay. And even still, YouTube takes a percentage out of that 99 cents. So I'm not even getting the full dollar, right? And I am amazed every time I bring it up how many people are like, I'm not spending 99. I'm not spending less than $12 a year to support somebody who I claim to support. Okay. Now I know other people have channel memberships that are more expensive, but I'm just looking at people and I just think it's a mentality where people just refuse. Like they just have like this idea that because I think part of it is, I don't want to call it jealousy, but it's kind of like, they're like, well, you got stuff sent to you for free and I have to pay full price to get it myself, or I have to pay for it. Why should I support you when you get stuff for free? Well, okay, yeah, we get the stuff for free, but then we spend hours, and I mean hours, creating the video, putting the stuff together, editing the video, promoting the video. There's a ton of work that goes into that, right? And again, you consume the content. I mean, you don't go to a restaurant and expect to eat for free. I don't understand it. So, yeah. Rob, what's up, my man? He said, good morning. I've enjoyed reviewing RitFit equipment the past year. Let's see some new and improved products. Great episode. Hey, I cannot wait for Matt to get on here, man. I literally have, we got a ton of questions for him, but I also cannot wait to see. And I'm serious. We actually were talking yesterday, and he was like, do you want me to send you some screenshots on Google Drive? I said, no, because some of the stuff is still in the prototype phase. So I was like, no, I promised that I wouldn't see it. I'm going to actually discover this stuff at the same time as you guys. So, yeah, I got a lot of anticipation too. Okay, here you go. Hey, humble brag. Shout out to my guy, Jared, our guy, Jared. Jared won the small gym Bells of Steel contest. So 100% shout out to him and congratulations. And as I pointed out to Jared, now we have proof that he's not actually on the bad side of anybody over Bells of Steel, because just last week he was like, hey, you guys aren't sharing my stories anymore. Well, nah, but you won the small gym contest, so there you go. Exactly. Carp is like, yeah, let him come over and build it for me too. I'm telling you, dude, it makes no sense to me. And I can see if you watch, like, let's say you watch 3 different videos about the same product. So you're like, well, I don't know which one of these creators links to use if I'm going to buy it. I get that. I'm completely on board with that. just use whichever video was the last one, you watch, just go ahead and use that promo code. That's fine. But to literally watch the video and then go on ChatGPT and search for discount codes for the product that you just watched videos about that convince you to buy it, just to on purpose make sure to spite the creator, to make sure they don't make any money, to me is not just actually, to me, it's childish. That's childish. Let's just look at it like that. Yeah. And Kurt says it's funnier when you consider the discount code isn't how most affiliate marketing work. It's the link, not the code for most companies. And I'm like, literally, man, if you click my link and you get a promo code from it, and I say, hey, use promo code such and such, right? Click this link, use promo code such and such. I'm actually giving you a discount code so that's actually extra value. So you could also, as Kurt says, you could click my link and still use ChatGPT to get a discount code. I don't understand this. I don't understand that behavior. Like I said, I don't have that level of hatred in my life. Matt said the logic is flawed. They take your advice to buy it, but don't trust you to use your code. So where's the recliner? I'm about to rage. Hey, like I said, I'm telling you, it makes no sense. And let's see here. Matt said, I ain't had any products for free. What you talking about? I paid for it all. Hey, I'm telling you. But you know what? Even when you pay for it, I've done videos about stuff that I've paid money for, and just about every content creator watching this show can say the same thing. And they don't believe us even then. When we say, I paid my own money for this, they still give, throw shade at it. I don't understand. Trevor said, people don't understand how much work it takes to actually make content. And to be fair with you, to be honest with you, they don't care how much work it takes. Because to them, and sadly to a lot of brands, creating video content isn't actual work because they don't respect it. You know how I know? Because look at how much they offer you to do any kind of product deal. So there's that. Carp said, I go out of my way to use other friends' links, especially if it's an item they reviewed. I may even ask them a few questions first. It's kind of like tipping your waiter or your Uber driver. And, there we go. There you go. Exactly. Carp, thank you. This is today's reminder. Since we're talking about it, throw that up there. MWPIG5 says 5% at Prime Fitness USA. Okay. I just want to let y'all know that. Just make sure that word's out there. I'm going to do that. I'm never going to get tired of doing that because I just think it's hilarious. All right. Move on to the next item. So that link from Microgains, I'm going to put the link for that. If you don't have that, I'm going to put the link to check out Microgains in the description for the video so you guys can check out the sale. Like I said, it is going on right. This is their blemish plate sale. And once you get to their website, you're gonna see it. It'll be like right in the video description when the show is over. So for the replay gang, shout out to the replay gang, so you guys can take advantage of it all weekend as well. All right, next item, we got magnetic clamp collars from Bells of Steel. Let me get rid of that up there. So Bells of Steel says your collar shouldn't ghost you mid-set. That's why we made the upgraded and improved magnetic clamp collars. They're wicked strong, and slim enough. You've got no excuse not to add more weight to the bar. You can stick them to the rack of plates in between sets, and they have a slim build. Also, they have blue or orange for high visibility. Of course, that's not the color I'm going for, but let's go ahead and check out the Bells of Steel. They just did an Instagram post about it, so let's check that out as well, so you guys can see how these Jones work. All right. That and let's share the screen one more time. Let's go. Share it. All right, so that's them right there. They slide on really easily. And I've seen so many companies do stuff like this, where they'll like have you jump up and down on the plate to show that that it doesn't move. But my go-to test is Steinborn's, because I like to test stuff like under actual use. There you go. Black is the color I'm going for. Always bet on black. And if you can't bet on black, bet on red. So, all right, so you can use it as a pogo stick to use it to turn your barbell into a pogo stick, apparently, or your axle bar. But these magnetic clamp collars, let's see, bells of steel.us to see how much these suckers are going for right now. All magnetic clamp collars. Get rid of that. We'll search for them and boom. Nice and affordable. Let's go ahead and check out bellsofsteel.us. And of course, I know that you guys are going there using the link that is in the video description. Or if you're not doing that, I'm going to show you a QR code in a second, so you guys can support the channel, unless you're a hater. So these magnetic clamp collars, they come in the world's best color, which is black. Second best color, which is red, is not available, but you can always get the black ones. I am actually looking at these. I definitely want to buy a pair. They're $31.97 here in the US. Not sure what they're going to be in Canada. You can buy, they're available in pairs. So you can buy 1 pair, 2 pairs, or 3 pairs. Now, if you want to get like 3 pairs, you're only going to be able to get 3 pairs in black. But if you just want a single pair, then you get in black, blue, or in orange. If you are either Keith from the No Wine Cellar or one of those misguided Tennessee Volunteer fans, you can get that. General width is about 1 inch, and outer diameter is about 3 inches, and it's made out of high strength nylon. They come with a 1-year warranty. Now, these are only compatible with 2-inch diameter Olympic barbells. Okay, probably don't have to tell you guys that, but just in case, they're not going to fit. I know some of you guys who watch this do have standard barbells. They're not going to fit a standard barbell. I am curious to know whether they fit an axle bar, but I'll find out when they show up here at the house. Let's see here. When we have Andrew back, man, we'll make sure that we let him know you feel cheated because you have the old unupgraded version of the barbell collars. Jared says it's weird how those collars look different than the current ones. I think maybe those are only in Canada. He said I look on the US site and they look different. I don't know why. So let's look at the Canadian site. bellsofsteel.com. All right, let's go. So now we're going to do the screen share back and forth. All right, so let's try this. So this is the USA site. Okay. And then let's go to the Canadian site. Should have tab instead. Get out of here. So this is the Canadian site. I mean, they look the same to me. Let's go back to the US site. So this is the US version in black, Canadian version in black. I mean, there may be some slight differences, but they look the same to me. All right. I do that. Kurt says I always drop from overhead for the test. I do that. I'll do like a heavy deadlift as well because so that because you see how the plates will walk. You probably get that same effect though by dropping it from overhead. I cannot do a side. Jared wants me to do a side by side. I can't. I can only go back and forth. The screen share won't let me do a side by side comparison. Is there a code for Fringe Sport? I don't know, or I don't have one. But since you brought up Fringe Sport, let's go to that. That happens to be the next. Are you looking at my show rundown, Heresy? Are you looking at my show rundown? Keep out of my show rundown. Because the next item we have is that Fringe Sport is having a local garage sale with up to, looks like, I want to say it's $25 off if you pick up locally. So Fringe Sport garage sale, they do it every year. You get $25 towards a local purchase, but you have to RSVP. And obviously this is if you're in the Austin area. So if you're within a drive of Austin, to me, it makes sense. The sale starts today and it goes through the 21st. You get a free $25 credit towards your local purchase. I don't know, as far as discount codes for Fringe Sport in general, no. What I would recommend you do is go to fringesport.com and sign up to the newsletter, because like they just had, for example, so this is over, but in the newsletter, they put things like, they'll let you know before it goes on Instagram that things like their Labor Day sale being extended, you'll find that kind of stuff out. So that is actually your best bet. I will say that Carp, if you're still watching, do you have a discount code? Because Carp, I believe, has a affiliate thing for Fringe Sport, so you can go to if Carp has one, I'll get him to post the link, post it here in the live chat, because he's got a I believe he's got an affiliate thing with Fringe Sport. Fringe Sport doesn't do a ton of that affiliate stuff. Most of their discount codes come, like I said, via the newsletter. So I hope that answers your question, Heresy. And Trevor said, if they're anything like the original version, they fit snug on a 2-inch bar without clamping them down. Jared says they look different, and Trevor says the magnet part is different. Okay. I mean, obviously, I was looking at it really quickly, so I'll take you guys' word for it. And apparently the UK site shows them, so we'll have them in the same style as Canada as well. Okay. Let's see here. Now, let's move on into the next thing, which is interesting concepts. Actually, no. Let's go to react and respond, because I don't want to run out of time. We can do interesting concepts afterwards. So react and respond. All right. So I've been holding on to this, the react and respond, because there have been a lot of suspect. We've been running out of time, but there have been a lot of suspect products. Okay. I shouldn't judge, but I am judging. There are a lot of suspect products that I keep seeing come across my desk. So rather than addressing them one at a time, I'm just going to address them all right now. Okay. And we're going to start in order. The first item, okay, is Black Ant Strength. Strength you can feel. Okay. So let me just go ahead and show you you're like, what are you talking about? And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Yes. Oh my God. Black Ant Strength, boy. All right. So here we go. So I first found out about this from Price Plow. Okay. Yes. As you can see on screen, this is from Bucked Up. All right. Of deer antler velvet fame. Bucked Up has a pre-workout that has ants in it. Okay. So I first saw the story from Price Plow on September 16th. And I'm just going to read what they said in their copy. Okay. It said, let's see here. Okay. It says, right here. So this is the video on Instagram, and the thing from Price Plow says, what if we told you that people have been eating ants for 3,000 years to get stronger? I'm just going to stop and just look at you. Okay. What if we told you that people have been eating ants for 3,000 years to get stronger? And what if we told you that Bucked Up just broke their own cardinal rule by creating their first ever creatine pre-workout? Because apparently Bucked Up has not, in the past, they've kept saying they're not going to put creatine in their pre-workout, which it makes a certain sort of sense, because creatine is a cell volumizer, and most pre-workouts have caffeine, which is a vasoconstrictor. So you kind of like they're working against each other. But okay. Anyway, so what if we told you that Bucked Up just broke their own cardinal rule by creating their first ever creatine pre-workout, one that contains actual black ant extract instead of deer antler velvet? I'm going to say that sentence again. Contains actual black ant extract instead of deer antler velvet. So I got a couple reactions to this. First reaction is, I'm a pioneer. Okay. Yes, that's right. I'm a pioneer. When my sons were still little kids and I was fresh from my deployment to Iraq, I got bit by an ant, and I got bit by an ant. I was in the garage. Door was open. I got bit by an ant. I don't know what I was doing. Like I don't remember if I was on the ground or whatever, but I got bit by an ant right after I had just finished giving them a speech about being mentally tough. So I just finished telling my sons, you need to be mentally tough. You can't let every little thing derail you. And then I got bit by an ant, right? Okay. So Carp right there. All right. So Carp said, as far as fringe sport goes, if you put stuff in your cart at fringe sport, you might get a 5. Yes, that's true. That's another cheat code. Put stuff in your cart, but don't buy it right away. And a lot of times they'll send you another 5 to 10% off coupon. So there you go. All right. So anyway, yeah. So back to it. So I just finished giving my sons, a speech. You got to be mentally tough. You can't let every little thing derail you. You got to go. You need to push towards the goal, right? I'm in the middle of this speech, and I got bit by an ant. So since I just finished talking about being mentally tough, I obviously couldn't be like, ow, I just got bit by an ant, right? So I said, hey, you bite me, I'm going to bite you back. So I remember it was on my arm. So I reached down and I bit the ant. I swallowed it, right? And I'm just going to tell you right now, it was horrible. It tasted nasty, okay? But my sons were like, wow, Dad is fearless, right? That's beside the point. The point is, it tasted nasty, and I didn't feel any stronger afterwards, okay? I just had an itchy spot where the ant had bitten me, okay? So I've already tested this out. You're talking about people have been eating ants to get stronger for 3,000 years. I can tell you right now, I bit an ant. I ate an ant. I didn't feel any stronger. My skin was just itchy where the ant had bitten me, okay? So are you telling me either I was already at my maximum strength level, or I ate the wrong kind of ant, or maybe I didn't eat enough ants to trigger the desired response. Okay, maybe I needed to eat more ants to trigger the strength gains. All I know is that's my first reaction when I saw the people have been eating ants for 3,000 years to get stronger. Second response, I had an ant farm when I was a kid. And in order for Bucked Up to have ant extract, they got to have ants, right? So if I had kept that ant farm, I'd be a potential supplier of farm-raised ants in a controlled ecosystem, okay? We're going to get back to that in a little bit. So I said, all right, maybe I don't know something. I don't think I know everything. I mean, we just saw when I was talking about the magnetic clips, you guys pointed out the difference that I didn't see, okay? I don't pretend to know everything. What I'm going to say is, because I don't know everything, I don't have a fear of asking questions, all right? So I reached out to a friend of mine. I know 3 people who are in the supplement industry. All right. And I reached out to one of them and I said, hey, man, I sent him the link. I said, this was on Price Plow. What do you think of this? So he sent me a voice recording. First of all, he was laughing. Okay. Let's just start there. He's laughing. But then he said, I'll never knock innovation. Okay. I want you to understand. He's laughing when he says, I'll never knock innovation, but this is no different from eating ground up shrimp or eating any whole organism. They've got protein in it, right? If there's any benefit, it would come from ingesting a lot of them. So, and he pointed out something I've forgotten. I don't know if y'all remember, but Kurt may remember. Remember a few years ago when people were talking about replacing replacing whey protein with crickets? Remember, they're like, oh, you don't need to, because you're lactose intolerant, so you don't need to ingest whey. What you need to do is instead eat your protein. They had these meal bars that were made out of crickets. Yes, I tried one. All right, whatever. All right, no, you don't taste the crickets. I tried it to horrify my wife. Okay, I mean, why else do we do things? But it just tastes like a normal protein bar. But my buddy was like, yeah, remember a few years ago when people would talk about cricket protein made out of made from real crickets? He said it's kind of like this, right? He said, so he looked at the label. He said, what you have essentially is a decent pre-workout, and then they added ant parts, okay? But he said, I do wonder how they tested this stuff to see the effect of ingesting black ants. Like how did they test this to see what effect taking in black ants would have on healthy, trained athletes? Because they said they've got clinical trials going on right now, I believe at University of Auburn, I want to say. Let me see. Let me go back here and look at my notes. I want to say that it was Auburn. But again, that's something that, University of Auburn, they're running a clinical with the formula, right? But they're running it with the entire formula. So he said, well, so again, my friend was like, well, technically they should be doing it with only the ant extract, because if you do clinicals with any typical pre-workout, you're going to get enhanced performance because of the caffeine, right? So, and it's got creatine. So the caffeine and creatine and the NO boosters are going to give you enhanced performance. How do you know that the ants are a difference maker unless you take the ant extract by itself, right? So I was like, what? Heresy said people used to use lead as makeup too. And Jared says they're probably kids. My sons are probably more like that. Wow, dad's a psycho. Hey, I'm telling you right now, they were inspired. Okay. Kurt says the problem was I didn't eat enough ants. Everybody knows that. You know what? I figured that's what the problem was, but and they're free, and those were free range ants. All right. Yeah. Grass fed's always better. So anyway, then my buddy was like, he said, so you'd have to have like two formulas, formula A without the ants, and then formula B has the ant extract in it. So you know that the difference maker with the ant extract. But the final thing he said is, how do you maintain the purity of the source material, right? So how do you make sure that the ants didn't come out of contaminated soil? How do you make sure that they don't have, because ants get diseases. How do you, all you got to do is watch enough nature documentaries on YouTube and you'll see ants get diseases. How do you make sure the ants don't have any diseases that potentially could get passed on to human beings? All right. Why am I telling you that? Well, first of all, I'll tell you in a second. Shout out to the Central Time Zone. It is now 7 a.m. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. I promise you, you want to click that like button and hit subscribe, because you're about to see the most popular segment of the show, Recliner of Rage. And I'm telling you, it is related to what I was just talking about, black ant strength, okay? Because, Recliner of Rage. Here we go. All right, are y'all ready? Recliner of Rage. All right, brace yourselves. It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay. Today, first of all, before I go into that, said there is no University of Auburn. It's Auburn University. Put some respect on that name. Hey, I'll respect them as soon as they do something respectable. See that right there? See that right there, Trevor? Okay. Yeah, watch your tone. Watch your tone. You just watch your tone, okay? All right. Anyway, so today's Recliner of Rage is dedicated to the death of a dream. I just finished telling y'all about the black ant pre-workout. I told you my history with, I've got experience in the ant farm industry, okay? I heard my supplement CEO friends' concerns about making sure they have a clean supply of ants. And I immediately said to myself, I think we got the solution. I have an idea. We need to get back into the ant farm business, but on a large scale. This is not the time to go small, all right? We got to go big. All we got to do is dedicate a space. Once we got the habitat set up, we can reach out. I got a friend named Ali Saberi. Went to high school with him, but shout out to Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. Go Barons. Anyway, Ali Saberi is from Iran, which is right next door to Iraq. So Ali could probably get me some of those Middle Eastern ants that I saw in Iraq that were impossible to kill. All right. So I know they're genetically superior. So you start out with a genetically superior batch, right? You get them over here to the US. And Ali owes me a favor anyway because of that thing that happened at the end of senior year. But anyway, no problem. So he can get me the Iranian ants or maybe the Iraqi ants. He can go across the border, or send somebody across the border, get me some of those Iraqi ants, okay? Get them over here, get them set up in our ant colonies, and then we reach out to Bucked Up and we say, hey, look, we've got the perfect, genetically indestructible source material, and we're growing it right here in the United States in Georgia. Okay, we got a nice climate. It doesn't get cold. It's not cold for most of the year, so the ants are going to be grown in a habitat. And even still, we're gonna have grow lights. We're gonna have a habitat for them. They're gonna live good. They're gonna be happy, well cared for ants grown in a pasture raised in a humane environment. Okay, then all we gotta do is harvest them, get them out to you guys. You got an uninterrupted supply chain. That right there, that's a game changer, okay? I'm about to be the Ant-Man of Georgia, okay? All I had to do was get the rest of the team on board. So me and I headed downstairs. Eminem's Lose Yourself is playing softly at first, but by the time I hit the bottom step, it had hit a crescendo. Okay, it was at a roaring crescendo because I got my family's destiny on my shoulders. I could feel the weight of the legacy that I'm building. It's on my shoulders. I turned the corner and I announced to my wife, who I love my wife. I announced to my wife, I got the solution to all of our financial problems. All of them. I'm about to fix it all. All I needed her to do was help me turn one side of the house into a giant ant farm. Do you know that woman kicked me out of her office before I could finish expanding on the vision? I'll tell you something. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And I just watched dreams die as her door slammed. She kicked me out of her office before I could even finish telling her the thing. I was like, look, this is the key. I had to tell our daughter this morning and said, baby, you were this close to being rich, but mommy killed your dream. Mommy killed, woman, my wife is in here. Woman, hey, you don't need to be in the chat, woman. All right, I'm having a private conversation with the world right now. I got people from Japan and Alabama in the chat, and in California and all over. All right, and we got people from Brazil. Okay, Foster's here from Brazil. I'm having a private conversation with the world right now about how you slaughtered our dream. Okay, you killed our dream, and I hope you're happy. Okay, I mean, yeah, I still got the sea monkey thing. But really, the ant thing was our big chance. And to be honest with you, I'm not so much angry as I am disappointed. Because Naomi knew what she was getting into when she was filling out that marriage application for me, with me. Because this sort of innovation for me is not new, okay? I was a pioneer when it came to naming the kids. She didn't take any of my ideas, but they were wonderful and they were innovative. I could have been the Ant-Man of Georgia. Not just Metro Atlanta, the Ant-Man of Georgia, but it's dead now. And next year, we're going to see some millionaire on CNBC or MSNBC or something. They're going to say, well, how did you make your money? And he's going to say, oh, well, it's crazy, but I got the idea to invest in ant farms, and I started supplying the supplement industry with ants humanely raised here in the United States, and things just took off from there. Okay, and when we see that, I'm making sure I get in touch. I'm going to grab you, Naomi. I'm going to say, come here and watch this because you killed our dream. You killed our dream. I was trying to make a better world for us and our grandkids, but you killed the dream. But you know what, Naomi? I love you, and I don't blame you. I blame the school system. You went to school in New York. I blame the school system because that's where they teach you to work for other people instead of following your dreams, stepping out boldly, and creating the change that you want to see in the world. I could have been the Ant-Man of Georgia. I could have been the Ant-Man of Georgia. She killed the dream. I'm just telling you. Oh, T-Dog? Oh, I'll tell you on the phone, T-Dog. I'll tell you the ideas for the kids' names. I'm saying they were wonderful ideas, and the kids would have grown up and they'd have been successful, okay? Because all the names I was going to give them were successful. Our names are successful, associated with success. You know what? Woman, you're still here. So now you get to listen to this.
It's the recliner of rage. It's the recliner of rage. Because he's not happy.
You know, the last person you think is going to kill your dream is the person who you have vowed to spend the rest of your life with. Okay? But she killed my dream. I love you, Naomi. I forgive you. I don't blame you. I blame the school system. But I'm just saying, you killed my dream. You killed the dream completely. All right? Trevor said, I'm trying to be the single Ant-Man of Georgia. No, I ain't trying to be single. No. I'm just telling you. We could have been. This was our break. This was our chance, Naomi. This was our chance. All right, let's move on to the next thing. All right. That was all. So all of that was all together. Now you see why I had to move Recliner Rage around. But we're going to continue with React and Respond. The next item I saw, have you guys heard about the Titan quick slide J hooks. And I know y'all are like, I can't believe you're talking about Titan Fitness. But this time, it is what it is. So so Jake, I know Jake and Mike talked about it briefly on their show. And if you guys aren't watching Neuro News, Garage Gym Radio, it comes on every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, I believe. I don't ever get to watch it live because I'm usually asleep at that time, but because I work at night. But it's a good rewatch. I like to watch it to keep up with what's going on in the industry. But anyway, so they talked about it briefly, and then there is this. I want to give a shout out to this guy. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to play his video because I don't want to take his content, but Hypertrophy. So if you guys want to watch his video, I'll put the link to this video in the description to Hypertrophy's video. I'm going to put that in the description for my video, for this live video, so you guys can check it out after the show's over. But basically, he got a pair of the quick slide J hooks, and you guys can see from the title, he says these Titan quick slide J hooks will ruin your rack. So I'm going to tell you essentially what he says is basically they will damage the rack from sliding up and down. Okay. And when I first heard about them, I was like, because this isn't the first time I've heard about to me, it's all right. But to me, the sliding monolift J cups are better because they do more for you, right? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got Elite FTS has them. So Elite FTS and Williams Strength both have them. So you see they're right here. Elite FTS slider monolift attachment. Now, as far as I don't know how much the Titans one go, because it's been over a decade. I'm gonna say I may have done it, but I don't remember. So as far as I remember, it's been over a decade since I've been on the Titan Fitness website for any reason. So I got no idea what they got over there as far as costs. So I wouldn't have even known about their quick slide attachment if Jake and Mike hadn't been talking about it. But anyway, so Elite FTS. Ooh, I've just found a typo. Ooh, that ain't good. But anyway, Elite FTS has their slider monolift attachment. Basically, it's a quick adjust. And if you go to Williams Strength, they've got their slider monolift attachment. See, slightly more expensive than the Elite FTS one, but basically what it does is these slide up and down. Okay, so if you go with this over the Titan version, you get the advantage of the monolift, whereas with the Titan one is basically just a J cup. All right, okay, great. Whereas, like I said, with these are, I would assume that they're more expensive because they do more. If they're not more expensive, then Titan's completely out of their mind. But for charging that much for those things, but to me, these make more sense. And these have been out. I don't even remember what show it was where I first talked about them, but these have been out. I want to say that it's been, it was like last year when I first talked about them. Maybe that it was earlier this year, but I know it's been a minute since I talked about it. So, yeah. So to me, it's like, and Carp said the Freddy Krueger Jacobs is what I'm calling them. Anon, hey, what's up, man? He said, looks like the Titan Jacobs are scraping the uprights. That is what Hypertrophy said. Trevor said, I would question this because they were sliding them up and down the rack at home gym-con all day. I don't remember their display being torn up there. So now that's a good point. However, this also fits in with why I don't think much of Titan at all, because the pair that he got, let's see if I can see if he's got a thing where he shows it. Okay, so they're $189.99 based upon his he's got a screenshot in his video. I'm trying to find the spot where he said, so basically what he said is the problem is that the ones that he has, boom. All right, so right there. So now let me share the screen so you guys can see what he says. Again, I would play it, but there's music in there, and I'm not about to play that. So right there, he shows that there's no UHMW. Technically, it's HDPD, HDPE. But anyway, there's no coating on the inside. He said it was basically metal on metal, and it scraped up his rack. So right there. So you can see, I don't know, can you guys see that, Trevor? Is that big enough for you guys to see? Because he shows all the scrape marks on his rack from sliding the J-cups up and down. So either that's how they designed, and the ones at Home Gym Con had UHMW on them, or Titan did what Titan does and sent him a pair without the UHMW in there, which should be in there. So either way, completely unsatisfactory. And Carp said the old adage from Titan is never buy a version 1. That's my big thing with Titan. It's like that almost is recliner rage, but I expect it from them, right? I'm not even mad because people who buy from Titan know that this is the case and they still go to Titan. Like, I don't understand the people who buy Titan version 1s knowing you shouldn't, right? But my thing with Titan is, why are you making people pay you to beta test your equipment? Because that's what, if you are a Titan customer, what you're doing is beta testing their equipment. I'm just telling you right now, you're paying them to beta test their equipment. And if you're comfortable with that, that's how you want to live your life, you go right ahead. It's your money. But I don't understand Titan as a company making people pay them to beta test their equipment. I guess it's, good money if you can make it, whatever. Anyway, you said, I just followed Titan. Oh, that's not good. No. I said, it was Elite FTS. I saw that they had a typo. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, they had a typo on the product page. And he said, and Carp said that's a Titan rack. He has them on. It should fit. Everything should work fine, right? And Rob said Titan's new J-cups are a decent innovation on a regular item, but not thinking to add a little plastic, which is pretty cheap. It's such a swing and a miss. I'm going to agree with Jake and Mike on this one. This is a solution looking for a problem. I mean, who here, raise your hands. I can't see y'all, but raise your hands in the live chat. Raise your hand if you've ever had problems changing your J-cup out, like, and moving it up or down. I mean, the way that we do it now, to me, doesn't need any innovating. And if you're gonna go where it's a pain is if you have something like a monolift attachment, because then that's a pain to move out, set up, or whatever. But the slider for the monolift slider, to me, is great. If you've got multiple people who might be using it, to me, that's a game changer, because then it's just like a normal monolift, right? Minus the bulkiness of a normal monolift. So that to me makes sense. But I mean, if you got a problem taking J-cups off and putting them back on quickly, I don't really know how to help you. Jared said, I like Hypertrofit so far. Good reviews. Yeah, I just started watching this stuff. I might reach out to him to see if I can get him on the show. But yeah, I enjoyed his content. So Trevor said he did watch the video, just making an observation on both points. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting you that the one they had at Home Gym Con didn't scrape the rack. What I'm saying is the one at Home Gym Con obviously has something different that his doesn't have. So there you go. Rob said if Titan sent these to even one content creator, just one, that have immediately been told to add protective plastic. But they don't care. That's my point. They want the customer to beta test their products. And the people who keep on buying Titan to save money are okay with it. I'm sorry. Like one of my favorite quotes of my dad's is, you can go broke saving money, and I ain't about to pay you to beta test your product. Okay? I'm not on purpose. If I know something, like if you've got a track record as a brand of doing that, I ain't about to pay you. I ain't gonna buy nothing from you. But let's say I do, it's gonna be like version 3 or 4, just so I know. Because you ain't about to make me pay you to beta test your product. Ashley, what's up? Hey, I know you in a couple of weeks, I know you got to be on here because watching because I cannot wait to have Dustin on the show in a couple weeks. What's up, Ashley? Jared Martin said, I looked on Titan. These aren't available yet. I mean, to be honest, I hope they're never available because I think it's a dumb idea. And even if it weren't a dumb idea, I don't trust the execution. But, like, to me, guess what I'm going to do? After today's show, I'm done talking about it unless, somebody else comes up with something else about it. I'm just saying, I saw it. I was like, the thing that jumps out to me isn't that the product has a problem. It's that people are still buying stuff from Titan and surprised when version 1 isn't good. That's my react to respond. Let's see here. Next item. Let's move on to the next item. Stop screen sharing. Get rid of here. We're rolling along. All right. So, okay. Anand says, I brought up the same issue with the sliders at Home Gym Con at the Titan booth. He said, they told me it was a prototype and they were still working on it. Well, apparently they didn't mind sending it out. They need to work on it some more, apparently. Carp, I'm telling you, it's the perception. So he said, Carp said, Titan's not even really that cheap anymore. Some of their items have doubled in cost over the last several years. So I remember in year 2 of Home Gym Con, they went to Home Gym Con and everybody was like impressed with what they were doing. We're like, oh, they've turned a corner. But you know what? I didn't believe it because I'm Captain Trust but Verify, right? So I was like, I don't care what they tell me. It's kind of like an NFL player. You don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Okay. So when I heard the Titans say this, I was just like, nah, you got to show me. I'm not from Missouri, but you still got to show me. Okay. And so this is just more of the same as far as I'm concerned. I'm happy to be wrong. And if anybody knows anybody from Titan, I am happy to have them come on the show and explain themselves. And I will give them the same fair. I mean, I'm not going to attack them, but I'm going to give them the same fair, neutral platform that I give anybody else. I would love to have them explain their product, come on the show and explain their product philosophy because I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Yes, I didn't give them a heads up. They didn't do anything. That's on brand for Titan. Exactly, because they don't care about making you. Okay, I've said it enough time. Let's move on. I'm not sure that this is better, but I saw it. So this is yet another item that came across my desk, and I was like, what is this? What's going on here, right? Ashley, I am so glad that you're watching. This one's right up your alley. I don't know if you were watching when we were talking about the black ant extract, and they're running clinical studies, but this one is just as egregious. All right, this is, I don't know how to pronounce this, but so we're going to go with Taina, okay? Taina Biotic. Taina Biotic, made from healthy butts for better guts. You guys may have seen this ad on Instagram. That's where I saw it. It's a dietary supplement. Yes, you eat this, right? It's 30 postbiotic capsules. You know what postbiotic means? Do you know what? So you know what prebiotic means, right? You know what postbiotic means? I'm afraid I'm going to be telling you in a second. All right. So I looked at their stuff, and the premise is humans healing. This is actual what they actually say. Humans healing humans. No live bugs. Okay, so this is a step in the right direction from the black ant extract segment, part of the segment. But no live bugs, no sketchy laxatives, just pure postbiotic power from healthy human donors. What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. So Taina, whatever their name is, they can't. Oh boy, they I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm pausing because I'm trying to figure out how to say this, keeping in mind that kids watch the show. Okay. They harvest poop. They harvest human poop. Ashley said I need to see the ingredients. Well, I don't think you want to see the ingredients, okay? Because, and let me go ahead. I'm gonna share my screen. So I even had to find like, okay, which is the best one? Okay, so at the heart of Thanabiotic, this is from Instagram, is the incredible power of the human microbiome, harnessed from a select group of extraordinary individuals we call our unicorn poopers. Unicorn poopers. These donors, I'm still reading what they said on Instagram. These donors are the source of the rich, diverse ecosystem of postbiotics that make Thanabiotic so unique. By the way, that name is trademarked, so don't go using Thanabiotic anywhere for profit. What makes, not that you asked, but I'm going to tell you anyway. To qualify for this select group, and this is the part where I got to be careful. So they must have been born the regular way. So no C-section, okay? And they had to have been breastfed. I'm not sure how, I guess you got to fill out a questionnaire. Then you have to currently eat a fiber-rich, diverse diet filled with fruits and vegetables. You have to have at least one or more well-formed bowel movement a day. They want you to be somebody who exercises regularly, however you choose to exercise. You got to incorporate daily movement, whatever that looks like for you. You got to maintain low stress levels and emotional well-being. You got to have never been diagnosed with a chronic disease. You had to have taken 5 rounds of antibiotics or fewer in your entire lifetime. So that basically cuts out most of the African continent in the third world. Okay. You got to prioritize sleep patterns and restorative rest. Then they harvest the poop from these people. I can only imagine what that procedure looks like. I can only imagine what that procedure looks like. But they harvest the poop, and somewhere they've paid people to turn that into a supplement that you are supposed to eat, so then you too can poop like a champion. Oh, this is the stuff that's out there. I told y'all this was going to be, I had to dedicate an entire segment to this because this is react and respond. And the thing I look at is like, how we used to laugh, like periodically talk about, like, you see something about like the Old West. They had the dude that came into town in his wagon. They called him like the snake oil salesman, and he was selling all kinds of weird stuff. And we laugh about it. Like, I can't believe people used to do this Old West. I remember I was in college, and people were talking about how advanced the Egyptians were. And then I was looking at this thing, and I had to do a research paper, and I happened to just so it's long enough ago that I was using microfiche, and I stumbled across something that talked about how the Egyptians used to consume feces as part of trying to get healthy, right? And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard of in my life. These dudes, they can't have been that advanced because they were eating poop to try to get better from being sick, right? And yet here we are in 2025. Here we are in 2025 with people selling supplements and talking about unicorn poopers. And then they doubled down and they said, this is also from them, okay? This is also from them. I'm going to keep you. All right, so here, what is it? Yeah, they talk about the bacteria in your mouth, okay? So now there's some truth to it. This is how what's dangerous, like when you incorporate a little bit of truth in there, right? So the balance of oral bacteria is shaped not just by brushing and flossing, but also by what's downstream. So basically, when your gut is acting up, and this is true, it can lead to bad breath, gum inflammation. But basically, it causes, like, if you got an issue with your stomach, it's going to manifest itself in issues in your mouth, right? So sometimes bad breath is related to something that's a gut health issue. But I refuse to believe that eating this supplement from these unicorn poopers is going to fix my gut so that now I have fresh breath. However, I don't like to stand in the way of anyone from following their dreams. So if you feel that you're fairly healthy and you would like to be one of these unicorn poopers, I have no idea what sort of compensation you get from being part of this bold experiment. But if anybody wants it, I'm happy, and I mean happy, to provide you with a link to reach out to Dana so that you can apply. Okay, because they are actively looking for more unicorn poopers, because obviously you're going to have the current crop of unicorn poopers are eventually going to age out, and you want to get unicorn poopers who are in their prime. You know what I'm saying? You want people in their prime contributing. So, you know, you got to constantly get a fresh supply of donors. I mean, good God, this is ridiculous. Moving on. Next item. This is again me reacting and responding. This is just the dumb stuff I see. All right, next item. If you can dream it, you can film it, and go ahead and post it on Instagram if you do. That's what I decided to call this segment, all right? So this right here, I'm not going to comment. I just want to see what y'all say, okay? I just want to see what y'all say. I'm going to post this. So share the screen. I promise this none of it is not at all like the last couple segments. So y'all go ahead and just watch this. Now, this right here is an established, neck bridge, okay? Neck bridge, pullover, and press, okay? However, I've done this. What I've not done is that. Definitely ain't done that. Okay. So the 1,400 of you who just watched that with me, I want to ask you, I don't even know what to say, but what is this? What are we doing? What are we doing? Look, I've done some stuff that people question in my home gym, okay? But I've got like reasons for it, and you can look at any of my stuff. I've got scientific, historical reasons for why it's a good idea, whatever. What was that? What is going on? What is seriously? What is going on? I'm gonna show y'all again. I wasn't going to, but I'm gonna show y'all again because I refuse to just be because I watched it more than once, so I'm gonna make y'all watch it. So okay, so he does the neck bridge. Okay, there are reasons for doing that, you know, and that's where I can't explain anything else. I mean, what? I'm gonna see the translation. So apparently, this is a reversal of someone's what did I say? Mike's it away. Reversal of somebody's power trick. So that means he didn't come up with this. He saw somebody else do it or something like it, and he decided, hey, you know what? Not only am I gonna do this, but I'm not gonna do what he did. I'm gonna reverse it. And then just think about all this. Just look at all this stuff. This is why I don't go to public gyms. All right. I've gone to them, but that's why I don't like going to them. Because you never know the dumb junk you're gonna see in there, right? They had to find a person, so they found a girl from somewhere. Okay, that probably wasn't too hard. They found somebody's piano. They found people who were willing to take time out of their day to lift the piano onto my man's lap. They found that dude. They found somebody in a tuxedo. They found somebody who's willing to play the piano. His career is ruined, definitely. Because how are you going to be the one? How are you going to get a job with any sort of concert, any concert orchestra anymore? If they're like, oh, wait a minute, weren't you the dude that stood on somebody's lap? I'm not about to be that. I'm not about to do that. Now, this one may have some actual value. Kevin, I hope you're still watching because this comes from Japan. Okay, this is just all stuff I've been seeing. I told you I've seen some weird stuff on Instagram. And again, this is why okay. Anybody who wants to explain this, go right ahead. So when I first saw this, I said to myself, this looks like the sort of thing that Flex Marshall Spot would have on his Instagram. Because I was looking at the machine. Then I saw that right there, that part. I said, whoa, what's going on here? Because first I was looking at the machine. I said, oh, okay, that's interesting. Because what he's doing there looks like something like a weighted version of a Muay Thai drill that we did when I was fighting. So you try to loosen your hips, right? Okay. But then I saw that. I don't. Carp, I know you've got. Ashley, you see that one? You see this? So I can't just ever let stuff go, right? So I reached out to my man, okay? Not about this, because I looked at the translation. He said basically these are hip openers, all right? But then he had another one, okay? He had another post, and I said, oh, now this requires a conversation, because I had questions. Okay. So right here, this is dedication on a whole different level. Apparently, so at first I thought this was in his house. I said, this dude is more dedicated than anybody else I know. He has dumped sand. You could have just got a sand dune stepper. He's not satisfied with that. He got actual sand and dumped it in front of this machine. But no, apparently, I reached out to him and asked him a question, and he said this is actually part of a personal training studio that is in let's see here. That's in where is this place at? It's a Shigeki Inomoto. Okay. So Kevin, I need you to track down this personal training studio, Buddy Shigeki Inomoto. Go in there, and I need you to bring back a full report on what's going on there. I realize you're going to have to cover your tattoos, but I need you to go in there and go down into apparently they've dumped sand into this sand pit specifically to train people to do stuff like this. As to why he's doing it, he said, so there's other people who are doing it right there. They're also in the sand pit. And apparently the point is to teach you to handle unstable conditions. Right? So now we got a few trainers here. Ashley, do you see this? What is your reaction to the sand pit thing? I just want to know. What do you think of that? Are you willing to go the extra mile for your clients and dump a bunch of sand? I'm not saying you got to dump it on your floor. You can get you a kiddie pool, put a bunch of sand in the kiddie pool, and make your clients get in the kiddie pool and do all their movements in there. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? All right, because there's a lot of things on the internet. There's just a lot of things on the internet. All right, now let's go to something here. That's enough of react to respond. Y'all feel free to respond to any of the stuff that I said. There we go. Okay. So Ashley said this is not the first time she's seen it. She said there was a very famous gym in South Tampa called Powerhouse that had a sand pit. So I'm assuming they're far from the beach. But then also I'll say this too. I mean, I can see because they have Muscle Beach. You do stuff on the beach there. I'm just saying that there's certain movements I wouldn't want to do under heavy load in sand because I like my life. Okay. So you say had a sand pit and people use it all the time. Were they using it for movements like what we just saw, or was it for other kinds of stuff? Because I mean, I can see like running in sand obviously has tremendous benefit. It's good for your knees, your calves, your ankles. I mean, basically your entire lower body, I think can benefit from training in sand, obviously, hence the sand dune stepper, right? I think it's tremendous for that. But it's mainly used for, she says, mainly used for plyos. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, these people are lifting weights in the sand. Like there's a machine in the sand and you're supposed to use it for lifting weights in the sand. I'm not comfortable doing that. It is low impact on the joints. Yeah, I really, like I said, I think sprints in the sand, jumps in the sand, heck, just walking in the sand. Anybody's walked on the beach, I'm telling you, that's probably the best calf workout I've ever gotten. Is anytime I just walk on the beach. So that's good. It's good. It's good exfoliation too, by the way. But anyway, so there you go. All right. So that was react and respond. Now I'm going to go into another one. We're going to finish out this segment. We got just enough time to finish this before we bring Matt in. It's Sand actually says sand needs more metabolic demand and muscular demand. It can be a great training tool. Yes, I agree. Any kind of conditioning work, I think, is best done in the sand. I mean, you remember, I'm sure you did like boots and utes runs in the sand and stuff like that. So I'm 100% on board with that kind of stuff. I just don't. I've seen, and I even see people like go to the beach and they lift weights and stuff. There's a limit to how much of that I'm going to do because of the I don't believe, or I don't want to personally do anything that's got too many variables that lead to instability, right? So if I'm doing something that an inherently unstable movement, I want everything else to be unstable so that that's the only variable. So for example, I'm not going to do a bench press on a skateboard, right? That's just for example. I know people who like to do like deadlifts on like a wobble board. I probably ain't gonna do that. Okay. I understand that it's gonna force your core to stabilize. I get that. I probably ain't gonna do that. Okay. So to me, that's just too many variables, and I ain't into that. But I love sand as a conditioning tool for like any kind of conditioning, cardio, anything like that. All right. So now I want to talk about interesting concepts. As we close out, we got about a little under 15 minutes before we bring Matt in here to talk about RitFit. So for those of you who are like, this show's going on, Jared said the show's going off the rails. Now we're gonna bring it back. All right, we're gonna bring it back. So the first item is something that I saw a long time ago, but I did a video about it, but it's been a minute, so I'm going to play this for you guys again because this is like December 2023 when I did the video. So let me go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see it. This is called the loading pin buddy. Okay, so there you go. Let's see if I can turn the sound on. Oop, that's not it. All right, let's try that again. So this is the load pin buddy. Oops, dang it.
Hey, so I've been doing a lot of uplifting lately, and I can do a 10-pound plate pretty easily, but I'm having trouble graduating to the 25. So normally what you can do with a single loading pin is you can stack them, but that gets a little bit difficult. So instead, I got the load pin buddy right here, and I've got 2 5s, one on each side. If I'm feeling froggy, take that off. Now I got a 10 and a 5, put some more chalk on it. And I can train like that and go up in fractional, make micro incremental increases until I get to the 25. Load pin buddy.
All right. So that was the loading pin buddy. Yes, I agree with the single leg balance that he was doing. I'm saying I saw other things that they did because when I started looking at the personal training studio, and I was like, yeah, I ain't do that. All right. So what do you guys think of the loading pin buddy? Is this something, I know a lot of you guys, especially like Rob, you're into grip training. A few of you other guys are into grip training. What do you guys think of the loading pin buddy? And then we got one more. We'll talk about that as long as you guys want to. And then I also have another thing. I want to talk about the vast strength rack attachment. I think that the loading pin buddy, that's from Gorilla Strength. I was at David Dennis's place when he showed it to me. And it's I was at David Dennis's place when he showed it to me. I don't know if he's got it up on the market yet. I want to say no, but it's something that he asked me, to talk about. So I did the YouTube short on it. And then let me see, what did I have? We had a bunch of people like it, but we didn't really have anybody. We didn't really get any comments on it. So that's why I decided to bring it back to show you guys again. Because I think that if you're going to do like grip stuff, that's just, to me, it's a very easy way. Actually, not even grip stuff. Grip stuff, yeah, but I can also think that there are some applications I could think of for doing like a rickshaw carries where you got like the straps hanging down. I can even see an application for using it like with chains or something like that. So Eric said Arm Assassin released another version of this. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm curious now to see the Arm Assassin. Do you know what it's called, Eric? Because I'm just going to their website to see what it is. Okay, and I cannot because their website is closed right now. So never mind. The Arm Assassin website is closed right now. So you can't even, unless you got the password, which I don't, you can't go into their website. But let me see if it's got it on. Oh, he's following me. I didn't realize that. All right, let me follow him back. So is this it? All right, so is this what you're talking about, Eric? This right here? You can, so it's like a loading sleeves on any side, on any height. And Jared said, I'm trying to picture this in use. Well, so Jared, did that help me showing you the okay, that is it. All right. Eric said, yeah, that is it. All right. So Jared, I know that you had a question about, what that would look like in use. So obviously you just saw David's loading pin buddy. And now you see how it's used. So what do you guys think about this? Those of you who are into grip training. Go ahead, stop sharing. And the second item that I wanted to highlight, these are just, I'm calling them interesting concepts, okay? This is the second item that I want to highlight. This one was on the Home Gym Con Instagram. Get rid of that. And unfortunately, this company does not have their own Instagram. And I couldn't find a website for them. They do have the same name as a YouTube channel, so I don't know if it's them or not, but it's Vast Strength. You guys may already know what I'm talking about because some of you guys saw it. So this is the Vast Strength. This is a 45-degree rack attachment system. So basically it comes, the stuff mounts on the angle. Right, so basically it mounts on the corner of the rack, so you can use the corner of the rack. So here's a good shot of it right there. You use the corner of the rack. Now these are prototypes, that's why they look rough like that. Actually, to be honest with you, they kind of look kind of cool. That unfinished look right there, that raw look. But anyway, they mount on the corner of the rack. So if you've got a small space, I can see how this might be a good application depending on what it is you're using it for, that could have some utility. And Jake said that this is he thought that this would be particularly useful for landmine work. Now I said it says intrusion, but I said that's an interesting concept because I was actually, so that's my comment from 2 days ago. I was actually talking to Marcus on from 922 Designs on Monday about how the future of home gym equipment is going to include a lot of rack attachment innovations because people will identify gaps in the market that bigger companies may not want to address because they're like, well, there's no ROI for us to make this thing because not enough people want it. But that creates a perfect opportunity for smaller startups to meet that need so that they can get their foot in the door. Gives them a nice little launch point. JB says, I love the idea to create a station in a small space. The offset also allows you to utilize the uprights right next to your waist tech if you have an Athena, where it's normally just wasted space. Paired and Powder Up said it's a prototype, so it's hard to judge the final product, but it looks cool. They said they're not a fan of this seat attachment connection because they're, in their opinion, that's going to move around a lot, and hopefully that's fixed before it's released. Other people are saying that's cool. Love the thinking outside the box. Other people say, I don't know if it's really that big an issue. And there you go. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the what do you guys think of the what do you call it? The offsets. Oh, and I said I was going to check this. GorillaStrength.us. That loading pin, buddy, if you guys want to, grab that from David. David's been on the show a few times, and I'm a big believer in supporting people who support us and who are willing to give their time. I got nothing against Lucas Raymond. So if you guys want to buy it from him, that's cool too. But I can reach out. I'm going to reach out to David and find out when the loading pin buddy is going to be available, or if it's just a special order item or not. And if it is a special order or whatever, I'll put that information in the chat so you guys can check that out. All right. So there we go. All right. Go ahead. Looks like we're all done with that. So let me close that up. And now let's go ahead and do one thing. Matt, are you ready? Good. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead, do one thing, and then we're going to have, we'll get this thing kicked off here. But first, let's go ahead and, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. All right. We're going to add LinkedIn and get you in here. All right. Shout out to everyone who just tuned in from LinkedIn. Thank you for checking out Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. I'm John Greaves III. I'm co-founder of Garage Gym Life. If you are watching the show for the first time, do me a favor. Make sure that you are following our page on LinkedIn so that you don't miss a single episode of this show where we talk to the brand owners, CEOs, and other influential people across the home gym community. So you guys can tap into what is one of the fastest growing industries, and that is gym equipment specifically designed for the home gym space. All right. My next guest is my dude. He's someone that Naomi and I consider a friend, which is crazy because we honestly just met him at this year's Home Gym Con. But Matt Baleanu is settling into his new job as Director of Product Innovation and Strategy for RitFit, which is a position he was offered after spending some time as an independent product consultant for them. And he's here now because Matt messaged me that he had several products, not a couple, not three, but several product updates to reveal, as well as multiple new products to announce exclusively on this show. So that is definitely the way to my journalistic heart. So Matt, if we weren't friends before, we're definitely friends now. So let's go ahead and welcome you in. Come on in, Matt. What's up, man?
It's a little too early here on the in California time, but I'm here, so I'm happy to be here.
Matt's like, oh, okay. Can we adjust the volume? Can we get that down a little bit? That's hilarious. All right, so let's see. Can you turn your mic down just a little bit because you're echoing off your back wall?
Yeah,
I don't want to blow everybody's speakers out. All right, let's try that. Everybody's eager. They're like, Matt, enough of this weird stuff John's been talking about. We want to just hear from Matt.
No, I don't know.
That's perfect. That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man. Thanks for getting up way too early. I know it's way too early over there. It's like what, 5 o'clock in the morning?
It's 5. Yeah, it's not too bad. So
but that means you got up at like 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I told you I've done this before. I've been in California and had to do the show. So yeah. So you already look at this. So you already got your fan club is already jumping in here. So Letha Cannon said, "Let's freaking go. Matt is the best, and RitFit is beyond amazing." She may be a little biased, but yeah, I agree. Master Man. Jared said, "Matt, let's hear the good news." And Angel Lopez said, "Matt, you're in Cali. I didn't know that you were in Chino. I might have to stop by." The only way you can stop by is if you take some of your pizza over there, Angel. That's part of the deal.
I actually have a shirt that is owed to Angel, so he needs to bring some pizza, and I'll give him a shirt.
There you go. Yeah, look, so we're making things happen right here. All right. We got Kevin from Japan. He said, "What's up, Matt? I'm the one stealing all your goodies from the Japan team." He said, "I'm excited to do the aura spin next week." All right. So let's start with let's get some background. Okay, first, because I mentioned that your pathway to joining RitFit, and I talked about it a little bit briefly, but unpack for us. Talk about, first of all, how did you discover RitFit? And because you don't have a background in the gym equipment space, okay? So talk about how you discovered RitFit, and then talk a little bit about your journey and how your experience led to what you do now.
Yeah. So if my mic or anything messes up, just let me know. But so essentially, like 2 years ago, I was looking for a leg press. I was on Amazon. It was Black Friday, and come across the BLP01 from RitFit, and it was like $600 at the time, or like $650. So I went ahead and I purchased it, ordered it while I was in California visiting family, and then I got home, put it together, and started using it. So not much connection to the brand at that point in time, but at some point, I was in the market for a new rack. So shout out to Vern and the infamous Reality Fitness 810 XLT. So that was the rack I had at the house, and I said it's time to step it up. What I did on that rack though is I added a couple weight stacks on there and made it a 6 post. But eventually I was like, all right, enough of this DIY rack Frankenstein thing. So essentially I was in the market for another rack, something affordable. And I came across the M1 Pro. But before I hit the purchase button, I spent 4, 5, 6 weeks up till 2 a.m. just looking at, everything that's in the market, all the 2x2 racks, just from an affordability standpoint, and there he is. But yeah, so I was just looking for all the racks in the market, and it took me about 4 or 5 weeks. And my wife, we're laying in bed, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Looking at racks." She's like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "I'm looking at racks." Right. So anyhow, about 4
that sounds like that's like an Instagram meme. Like, what are you doing? What is he looking at? All right.
So I ended up purchasing the M1 Pro, and I had ordered it. It came in pretty quickly. My little brother was in town from California. I'm in Ohio, and he helped me put it together. So we started unboxing it, and I, was at first a little disappointed. I was like, "Oh man, I just ordered this rack, and there's a bunch of little scratches here, little scratches there." And I know depending on who you talk to, it's important to some, not important to others. They say it's a rack, it's going to get scratched up, right? So, but at the end of the day, right, I was expecting something a little bit better. And so I contacted customer service, through Instagram and Facebook, actually. And they worked with me, and they got me the parts that I needed to replace to make the rack, again, seamless, no scratches, no issues. And they took care of me on that standpoint. And then, so I started using the M1, and I took the weight stacks off of the 810 Reality Fitness Amazon rack, and I put 2 200-pound weight stacks on the M1. There were some slight modifications, that I had to do because the spacing for the guide rods is a little bit, different size, depending on what brand you go with, right? They're all different sizes. So I had to do some slight modifications. And then, I started posting, I'm not a big content creator, but I started posting, some videos like in the Facebook Get Fit with RitFit Facebook community group, some on my Instagram, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, could we use your video for some ads, you know? And I was like, sure, no problem. Like, that's fine. You know, it's out there for the public to view anyways, might as well do whatever you want. So I started seeing some ads come out, you know, with me using the equipment. And then as I was using it, I was like, I think I need a bigger stretch, right, for a lat pull down. I think I'm going to make a lat pull down extension, right? So I get on Amazon, I order 2 4-inch by 16-inch, you know, brackets, right? You know, and I'm drilling in my basement, making metal shavings everywhere. And I create a,
I'm sure your wife loved that. I'm sure she loved that.
Yeah, she uses the equipment, but if you would have seen my basement before 6 months ago, there's bits and pieces and parts everywhere.
Yeah,
I was always tinkering around with something creative.
Lucky to be alive.
Yeah, for sure. So anyhow, I created a lat pull down extension for the M1, you know, and then did the same thing. I posted that. I said, hey, you know, for anybody who like needs a bigger stretch, you know, for their lat pull down, nothing's available for this rack right now. Here's a simple add-on, you know, and so I ended up sending that to the marketing team through social media. Hey, you know, this is great. Like this little attachment that I added onto the M1. It's something you guys should do. You know, or think about doing. You know, and then so I sent pictures and videos, and I was like, here, you know, here's everything I did. You know, it's a pretty simple, you know, thing to do. I think the market will respond well to it, right? People love to get, you know, full range of motion, and this is what's needed. So they're like, oh, thank you, you know, appreciate it. And then I ended up creating a bracket system to make the M1 go from a 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 weight ratio on the end of the pulleys. And so I did the same thing. I basically made it. I went to Amazon, ordered some brackets, installed those, and took pictures, took videos. I posted it on Facebook. Again,
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Do they not have like a home? I'm hearing echo, by the way, from the thing. Do they not have like a Home Depot or a Lowe's around? Like you're ordering all this stuff from Amazon. What's going on over there? What's going on in Ohio?
So Amazon is obviously a lot of people order from Amazon, but I was looking for something pretty specific. I was looking for something where I didn't have to modify a whole lot.
Gotcha.
You know, in Amazon, there's a lot of stores from a bracket perspective and from a gauge, right, of metal I was looking for.
And you usually can get it pretty quickly too. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and if I decided like, hey, you know, I can't make this work, they got a great return policy.
That's a good point. That's an excellent point. All right, very well. Continue. I'll just curious.
Yeah. So anyhow, I made that bracket system for the M1 for the 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 weight ratio. And again, because even with the 200-pound weight stacks, with the 2-to-1 ratio, your felt weight is only 100 pounds. You know, and when you're doing lat pull downs or, you know, any type of row movements, 100 pounds may be fine for some, but I needed a little something more. And so I basically added that, took pictures, sent videos. And then, you know, there was another, like I drew up, you know, this leg extension attachment for the M1. And then I sent that too. And so I just kept sending them like ideas and things, right? You know, I was like, hey, what about this? What about that? What about that?
Okay.
So, and then anyhow, one day, you know, Summer, Summer reached out to me and she was like, hey, how would you like to work with us? And I was like, what? Sure. What does that mean?
Like, yeah. What are you talking about? Tell me more.
I was like, absolutely. Like the answer was yeah. But what does working with us mean? Right. And then so she's like, well, we don't know yet. Let's figure out how we could work together, partner together, and things like that. And so I was excited. You know, I bought a leg extend or a leg press. I bought the M1. You know, made some, you know, attachments and, you know, things for it. And then, you know, now, you know, in some way, shape or form, I'm going to start working with them. But after that conversation, there was like a slight pause, right? It was like, I don't know, maybe a week or two, right before, you know, me and Summer started talking back and forth. Okay. And so I didn't really think much of it. You know, I was just like, okay, well, you know, we'll see where this goes. And then she reached back out to me and she was like, hey, Matt, Tom, you know Tom, right? Mm-hmm. Tom's the man. But she's like, Tom is going to be flying in to the California showroom. We're just launching it. It's not ready. Would you like to meet him? And I was like, yeah, sure. Let's go. Absolutely. So little did Tom and little did Summer know. So I'm originally from California. I live in Ohio, but little did she know I lived in Ohio. And so she's like, hey, so do you want to go to the showroom? And I'm like, yeah. So I hurried up and I went on, I don't remember what airline, but $800 ticket. Let's go.
Gotcha. Yeah.
California, meet Tom, right? Let's take a risk. All right. I don't know what this means. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, anything, right? I just know that, hey, do we want to partner together some way, some shape or form?
Yeah.
And, Tom is flying in from, an international location. Let's meet this guy, and, so that was in February of this year. I came in and met Tom. But anyways, I brought my resume, right? So my background is in manufacturing, and kind of how I started there was on the shop floor, learned, developed, and grew, and worked my way into up to operations and plant manager positions. So I was doing that. I brought my resume to Tom, gave it to him. We went and he took me to Starbucks. I'm not even a big I don't drink coffee really.
I'll go wherever you want, Tom. Whatever you want. What are you ordering? Whatever you're having.
Oh yeah. So actually, I think he got like some Americano or something like that. And afterwards, I was all like,
"That's hilarious."
I'm not a big coffee drinker at all. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So we went and we had some coffee. Came back to the showroom. Talked about RitFit Sports. I wanted to know more about the brand. I wanted to understand what does the brand stand for? Who are they? What's the origins? Right? Just know everything I can about them. Just because if I'm going to be working with somebody, I want to know who they are. Right. And make sure that they align with who I am. As an individual. So anyhow, Tom's like, I don't know how this is going to work, Matt. You live in Ohio. We're out here. Could you just move out here? And I was like, no, I can't just move out here. I moved away 15 years ago. I don't want to move back. So
hold on. And this is while you were talking about being an independent consultant, and he was like, "Can you move out here?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So at this point, we were still kind of in the what does this mean, right?
Right.
Is it going to be an independent contract, or is it just going to be type of some other people have other things. Or I'll call them agreements, right? To where there's equipment, right, for whatever else, right? But or in exchange for. But so essentially, I flew back to Ohio, and again another pause, right? So it was maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, and I was like, all right, well, whatever, like it is what it is. We went out there, we try to figure something out and see where it went. And right now it's on pause. So I just kept in communication with Summer, and she was like, hey, Matt, thanks for stopping by, blah, blah, blah. Sure. And eventually though, she connected me with some others on the RitFit management leadership team. And we come to, an agreement, right? From a standpoint of, how we're going to work together, what roles and responsibilities would I have? What's the expectations? Just basically all the details, right? So we just worked out all the details.
Work stuff, yeah.
And then so I started working with them. I started helping moderate and manage their Get Fit with RitFit Facebook community group.
Yep.
I'm pretty even before
you're active in that.
Yeah, even before I partnered with them. I knew the equipment, right? I knew that what was available. I knew the specs on it. And that's why it took me so long to pick the M1, right? 4 to 6 weeks. I'm sitting here like, what's the weight capacity? What's this? What's that? Right? What type of metal is it? All just geeking out over, right? All the small stuff, right? And then trying to make a decision from there. But yeah, so I was utilized and still I am utilized as a resource for the Get Fit with RitFit group. I help play, kind of, in some cases, middleman in between, the R&D team and engineering team to the customer. But yeah, so it started out with that. Started out with, again, some of those designs I came out with, and they started, utilizing, and we're going to see here in a little bit, right? What are we coming out with now? Is some of those things that I created coming out? What other things are coming out, right?
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's kind of how it worked out. And then, so I was then signed, on the dotted line, and I was an independent contractor, for a company that I felt took care of me and takes care of the customer, and is humble, right? It's a humble organization, so
Yes.
I thought it was a great one to join. Then Home Gym Con, right? Shout out to Jake and his team. Amazing job. So me and the wife, we bought tickets like way back before, I started working with RitFit, and we were just going to go as spectators. It was going to be my first year going to Home Gym Con. So I was pretty excited about it. And then I told my wife, I was like, hey, are you sure you still want to go? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I'm going to be working at the RitFit booth, because RitFit, the team had reached out and they're like, hey, could you mind helping us at our booth? And I was like, sure, let's go. Yeah. So I told her, I was like, I'm just going to be at the booth. So if you want to go, you could go. If you don't, that's fine too. But yeah, I'm so excited that she went. I'm so excited I went. Like, I had a blast. I know we had a lot of visitors at Home Gym Con come through our booth. The feedback was great. Even the feedback that may not be considered great was still great, about the equipment. And so, yeah, it was a blast at Home Gym Con. And then shortly after that, so I took some of the stuff that we didn't sell, I took back to my house in Ohio, because I'm only 2.5 hours away from
Kentucky.
The Home Gym Con. Yeah, from Home Gym Con location. And so I took some of the products back home. I started testing on them, right? Because they were prototypes. We had them. So I started testing on them, using them every day, getting back with the engineering team and the product team and letting them know, hey, this, that, and the other, and then so they've been making adjustments, accordingly ever since. And excuse me. So yeah. Anyhow, just
so you went from independent consultant to now you're full time. You have a position. I assume you live in California, or you still go back and forth?
Yes. No. So I go back and forth. I'll be going back and forth. Okay. But so after Home Gym Con and giving the feedback for the equipment, basically I went home and continued doing what I was doing. And, within the last, 30 days, Tom and the team had got with me, and we talked about, this full-time role that we didn't anticipate potentially coming available until probably next Home Gym Con timeframe. Right. So the timeline kind of moved up very quickly. So now I'm a full-time team member of RitFit, supporting the research and development team, the engineering team. And in my previous roles, I've done the same thing. I've had engineering and research and development teams report into me and help support product launch and things like that. So definitely excited, for the journey. But yeah, I'm still located in Ohio. I'll be here at the showroom, supporting the showroom and Tom and the team here 1 week every month, which is great. You get to come to California for a week, and then I'll be back in Ohio for the remaining, working remotely.
There's a so I just want people to understand. I know that we're going to move on to talking about the product stuff, but I want people to get this. Number one, you weren't like this big time content creator. Okay, your Instagram, you've got I want to say you had a few thousand followers on Instagram.
Just 1,000 followers.
You got 1,000. Okay, so you got 1,000 followers on Instagram. All right, you're not somebody who is like a quote unquote big name, and even big name is relative, because we're going to talk about something in a second that relates to that. But it's like you weren't like this big name. You weren't a big name in the home gym space. What you were is somebody who was passionate about the products, and you got in touch with them. And I would assume that as you're making like some of your recommendations, you're not posting about the recommendations on social media. So they're like, okay, well, this guy can kind of keep stuff to himself. So it's like that's an opportunity. And then once they identified it, another thing that sticks out to me is how fast this all happened, because like this is like a 6-month time frame roughly. Yeah. And because like when we saw your Home Gym Con, honestly didn't know who you were, right? I thought, I said, okay, well, that's just somebody who works for the company. I had no idea you were independent at the time. And then when we get to California, we see you're like, oh, hey, man, like we were there and we found out about that you were getting a new position. That's when I found out that you didn't work for RitFit full time, right? And I was like, this is amazing. So that's just amazing to me, because we've been talking for the past few weeks on the show about different ways that people who are interested in this, in the gym equipment space, but maybe they don't want to start their own company, but they are passionate about this, different ways that they can get involved with brands beyond just being doing like what I do, right? And I just think that's why I wanted to make sure that we talked about your journey to what you do, because I want people to see that there are other ways to make this work. Even if you don't end up with a full-time position, you still were doing it as an independent, product consultant. Yeah. And the other thing I want to say is, while you weren't like a big name content creator, you did have a very stable job. You've led multi-million dollar businesses as operations manager. And then you told your wife, hey, yes, I'm leaving all that. And I'm going to go this little side hustle you saw me doing with the shavings in the basement. I'm going to go work for that company, RitFit. I'll be remote most of the time. So basically I'm be home tinkering in the basement most of the time. So watch out for more shavings. But then, 1 week a month, I'll go out to California. So what was the reaction to that?
Yeah. So, I mean, just to rewind back a little bit, I think even in the corporate world, any position I had available or I stepped into, I kind of did the role, before I got the role, right? So I think just to encourage those, and I know there's been a lot of maybe sour partnerships, right, in the past, or at least, I've heard a few on the show and kind of just in the home gym community. So it's unfortunate, but you find a good company, they're going to show you your value in their actions. So, but yeah, I feel like it was mutual. RitFit saw the value I was bringing to the team and to the table. And then I also saw value in the brand, right? I saw who they were, what they were doing. So, but yeah, so to my wife's reaction, so we were watching Dexter or something, right? On TV, like just getting ready for normal day's work the next day, right? Get up at, 5 a.m. and go in. So anyhow, she just, to be honest with you, John, she just sat back. Because she was leaning forward. I remember it, it's a big thing, right? Quitting my job in the manufacturing industry. I've had 15 years experience in, right? So she, so she just sits back and she's like, God's got our back, like he's always had our back, 100%. She's like, I know you've been wanting this. I've been praying for you for this. Like, so I just, she's just amazed, right? Kind of in shock, and I was too, so, but yeah, that was her reaction.
Nice. All right, so let's say, so Jared Martin said, this reminds me of Matt Porter's Gym Equipment Genesis. Matt's must be the creatives among us. Yeah, so Matthew Porter does a lot of stuff for different brands. He's got a lot of different, obviously he sells his own products now too as well. But yeah, he's the first person who I knew of who was a brand consultant. And then since then I've found out about other people who do it, and you were the most recent one. So I just think it's like a really cool way to get to add value to the industry and to pursue your passion. What's up, Kinsey? She said, well, good morning. Gonna have to play this back a little bit. Hey, I promise you, the weird stuff all happens before Matt gets on the show. So I'm just gonna warn you now. There's some weird stuff on the first part of the show because I had to get rid of all of it. Okay, that stuff's just sitting on my desk, and I was like, we're gonna knock it all out in one show. Angel apparently wants. I don't know if he wants to be the RitFit official chef or if he's looking for a different role. But he said, if you guys need somebody in Cali full time, I'm available. Nice. And Jake is here. He said, great story. I'm about 10 minutes behind. And so then make sure you don't miss the shout out, Jake, because Matt gave you a shout out about Home Gym Con. So there's that. And actually, that to me, that's another cool thing is like you were originally going to Home Gym Con as a spectator or I guess as an attendee. Yeah, next thing you know, you're working and now it led to a full-time job. So that's just yet another reason why I think it's such a cool event that needs to be not just preserved, but we all need to do our part to make it grow. Let's see here. So now you tell your wife, hey, yeah, so I'm going to be working with RitFit. And then you hadn't even officially started your position, because you hadn't started your position when you did this. This all happened like that weekend we were in Chino Hills, where you found yourself shooting a commercial with Miranda Cohen, who is an online coach, and she's a fitness influencer. She has over 5 million Instagram followers. And the reason why I said well-known as like quote unquote is because you said you didn't know who she was, right? And I asked Naomi, and she's like, isn't she like, she kind of like, she's like, she sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. But there are 5 million people who know who this person is, right? And I always think it's interesting whenever I see somebody, especially in the home gym space, or the home workout space, some people prefer to call it, who have like large followings, but then I don't like I'll ask people if they know them and they don't know who that is, because that's encouraging to me, right? Because it's like I look at like how far we've come, and I'm like, man, there's still people who don't know me yet. But it's like, don't be discouraged, because there are people who have 5 million followers, and there are people still who don't know who they are. So just keep on pushing. That means there's still room to grow. What was it for you when Tom says, hey, yeah, by the way, while you're here, I need you to be in a commercial? Where you're going to be shooting a RitFit commercial. How'd that go?
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't know who Miranda was. After I heard who was going to be on the commercial, I was like, okay, who is this person? And so she's not that, I mean, obviously it was actually, I think at one point, like 6 million people, she had on her followers. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that she's really like in the home gym community. She's more of a fitness influencer versus home gym. But yeah, so I got to meet her and her camera guy, Lucas.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Doesn't she shoot content from in her home gym?
Most of the stuff that I see her, she does have some, like I think body weight workouts at her home. I don't believe that I've seen.
Most of the stuff is not.
Yeah, most of the stuff is going to be commercial gym, but also some. So there, she does do some content from her home. However, I'm not, again, right. I didn't know who Miranda was, right?
Yeah,
so
I got you. The reason I'm just saying that is because people say, okay, well, she's not home gym because she doesn't like review equipment. And I'm like, to me, if you do workout fitness related stuff from your house, that's home gym.
Home gym.
Yeah, because if somebody was doing the exact same content in a public gym, you say, oh, that's gym content.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So I didn't really know who she was, but I drove to LA, or Tom. I was kind of discouraged because he's like, you're going to have to leave the showroom during the event, to go help, support this commercial, and so I was like, well, that kind of stinks. I watched your review or your feedback on the 10-year anniversary, which in my opinion, I had a great time. It was awesome. We had a great turnout. But he was like, you have to leave.
You got to be exhausted.
I was at Walmart like later in that night, and I was just like walking around, and I was on the phone with my wife, and I was like, you know what I'm doing? I'm mindlessly walking around right now. I have no idea what I'm doing. I was very, very tired. But yeah, so we drove down to LA, or I drove down to LA. My little brother came down to help me. We went and set up all the equipment. Basically got everything, set up for the shot. And so yeah, by all means, the M1 Pro and the pink plates and all the equipment and Miranda were the star of the commercials. Most of this is going to be behind the scenes. So I got to support that aspect of it. But yeah, so when I met Miranda and her camera guy, Lucas, it was cool. Like I said, I didn't know who they were at the time, but we started talking about, just person to person. I'm not big on putting people on pedestals. I believe that we're at our core, we're all human. We all have human problems, and we started talking about podcasts, right? Starting a podcast. We started talking about, what are those core values, that you have as a person that you won't move off of, right? So we just were talking, just like normal people, and just trying to really get to understand each other and get to know each other. But yeah, so all of us connected on social media afterwards. And but yeah, it was a long day. That day was a long day.
I imagine.
I had to fly back to Ohio, so I was only able to help support the first day of the shoot, which was most of the gym content. I mean, I won't spoil the rest of the commercial.
No, that's
there's another day. worth of shooting that happened in downtown LA.
Yeah, and so if anybody wants to see that behind the scenes, I'll link to that video as well, so you guys can see it. Mostly, I put it up so just people could see you in the video. I was like, that's who we're there to see, like seeing you in the video doing all the stuff. I saw you like with the cable flies. I said, look at him. There you go, Matt.
There we go.
All right, so everybody's tired of me rambling. So you told me you had several new products. Do you want to start with the product updates?
Yeah, I may screw up this screen share, but let me give it a shot.
Just share your screen and then we'll make it work.
Present.
No pressure. We just practiced yesterday. That's all. No pressure.
Yeah, I know.
There's only 1,800 people watching. Don't worry about it. They promise not to tell if you don't get it right.
I appreciate that.
That'll be okay.
All right. So do you see my background?
There we go. Yeah, I see the rivers and lakes and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to put it up on there now, or you want me to wait?
Yeah, it don't matter. So I'm gonna go through the list here in just a second. I'm gonna pop up some pictures.
Okay, so there we go. All right. Remember, I'm finding out about this stuff at the same time as you guys. So here we go. These are product updates from RitFit. Carlos said, "Don't blow it." All supportive. Okay.
Thanks, Carlos. Appreciate that, bro.
All right. So what you got?
So yeah, we'll kind of start out a little smaller and then go out from there. So for the M1, we're basically releasing some weight storage or some attachment storage for the M1. It's just an attachment that'll go on to the M1 and the M1 Pro.
Okay.
Essentially just for some storage, right? So not that huge, but definitely a big convenience.
So it's going to be in the back like a pegboard? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So there'll be a metal pegboard back here. It'll come with hooks, right, to store your equipment. So on our BPC06, we've got the metal storage on there, and we got a lot of great feedback on that. So we decided to release it on the M1. Okay. Makes sense? Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, let me jump on what's next.
So we're adding storage to the M1 or the M2?
The M1.
M1. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So this is going to be for the M1 also. We have the lat pull down attachment. So you're going to have a leg hold down device. The way you'd be able to attach this, you could do Nordic curls, or, and then essentially the way it connects, just so the team and people on here know, I believe some people thought the cable was going to go like up around here, down and over, and they thought that you weren't going to be able to use your existing cable trolley, but that's not. You'll still be able to pretty easily disconnect and reconnect to the carabiner and utilize your cable crossover system. So this will be for the M1, which will be released. Let me make sure I give you the right time. So that the M1 lat pull down will be the end of October. So the M2, yeah. So and then on the weight, the pegboard will also be in early November.
Okay.
All
right.
So this one, so we're gonna do 2x2 11 gauge uprights for the M1.
Okay.
So yeah, we're basically, people ask, hey, 14 gauge 2x2 rack, 11 gauge, right? So
yeah,
we actually, me and the owner of the company and the team, when we were at Home Gym Con, we started talking about this, right? We were like, hey, what? A lot of people are saying 11 gauge, right? So anyhow,
I mean, it's hard to miss, like when you walk around with most of the booths and most of them are 11 gauge still. You're like, oh, apparently this is industry standard.
Yeah. So is 11 gauge or does 14 gauge still work? Yeah, absolutely. I've been using it. I mean, I know there's Sam Sulik had a Reality Fitness 810 XLT rack, right? I mean, Coop did the review on it, right? I mean, unless you're 800 pounds, 1,000 pounds, that 14 gauge steel, worked, anyhow. So yeah, so we're going to go with 11 gauge upright. So this will be an improvement, an add-on, right? An a la carte type purchase. It's not going to be like a part of the standard package. We want to keep everything affordable, right? For the customer. And right, here's the basic package. Get into the home gym community, right? And that's some of the things we're starting to do with the specifically our bestseller, which is the M1. How could we continue to support, the best selling products, right, and continue to give to those customers that are ordering this product? And so how do we support them and grow their ecosystem and grow their rack with them as they grow, physically?
Right.
So, but yeah, so you could see this will be 11 gauge, and then our holes are 1-inch holes, and our spacing is going to be a lot tighter, going up and down the uprights.
Are those going to be numbered all the way down, all the way up? Like
I believe it's every other is going to be numbered.
Okay. So Martin says, I love how RitFit is continuing supporting modifications for the existing products. I put that up there, and Carlos said he never doubted you for a second. I wouldn't believe that. It sounded like there's a lot of doubt. But I'd say, like, to me, like we were talking yesterday, and I think that there is a place for having tiers within a company's product line. You like say, okay, because if you come to the company, you're like, this is what my budget is now. It's cool if, as your budget grows, you're able to, you don't have to leave the company, and maybe you don't have to completely abandon the thing you bought first. You can just upgrade it. Like kind of like what Synergy Custom Fitness does with their dumbbell racks. You can just add on. And I love that you guys are taking this approach to your existing products. I like that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
All right.
Hold on. Share. Okay. So I'm sure you could still see my screen. If not, let me know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This is again the M1, our best selling rack at this point. So if you look right here and right here on both cable trolleys, so this is the 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 cable ratio add-on.
Okay.
I don't think anybody is doing a add-on 2-to-1, 1-to-1 cable ratio system.
Okay.
In the market. So for at least for 2x2 racks. So basically there are some existing racks that have this system as OEM as new, but there's nothing really in the market that is like an add-on, right? Hey, how do my rack comes a 2-to-1 ratio. How do I make it 1-to-1? Right. So that's essentially what this is going to do. So we're going to have, some bracketry here, right? That's going to allow you to add an additional pulley on the rack and basically connect the two carabiners together. And whether you have the weight stacks or just weight plates, that's going to adjust your cable ratio. If you pull to the two cables together, that'll give you your 1-to-1 felt weight. And then if you just pull on the one carabiner, it'll get your 2-to-1. So when you talk about lat pull downs, right? Or even, hey, somebody in the Facebook group asked yesterday, they're like, oh, well, for the lat pull down, it's still a 2-to-1 attachment, right? Or it's still a 2-to-1 ratio. So I told them to kind of just watch tomorrow, because essentially with that extension, and you hook these two together to that cable for it, you're going to get the 1-to-1 felt weight.
Right. I saw that question. That was from the person who's like, they're just starting their home gym or something like that.
Yeah. So they'll be able to have, the felt weight, a 1-to-1, 2-to-1. I think that's important. When it comes to cable flies, you need 2-to-1. When you do curls, 2-to-1's great, right? So anyhow, but this will adjust your 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 cable ratio.
By the way, guys, if you're watching, obviously you're watching, or you wouldn't hear me say this, but if you're watching live and you have questions for Matt regarding the stuff that he's putting out there, we don't mind stopping or slowing down if you have a specific question about any of the product updates that he's talking about. So just put them in the chat, and we'll address it. If you want to wait till he's all the way done and then put your question out, that's fine too. I just don't want us to be done with the show and you're like, oh, I wish I had known this or whatever. If you're watching on replay, put your questions in the comments, and I'll see if I'll try to get Matt to come back around to answer those questions. But it's better if you're watching live and you can get your live answers in real time, because that's the beauty of the show. All right. So what else you got?
Yeah, so those are 4 of the updates for the M1. I'm gonna throw another.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more question for the M1. All the updates you've shown us so far, they're going to be available by November of this year.
So the latest is November. Yeah.
Okay.
So the 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 cable ratio was early November.
Okay. All right.
So you all, if you went to Home Gym Con, hold on, sorry, just once.
So
So if
Carp
you guys
said,
want,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. So if, as Home Gym Con, just an update on the release date for the Jammer arms. We are going to release them in October. So
Okay.
they'll be available for purchase for the M2 in October.
Okay.
We are working on some M1 Jammer arms. So
Those are
they're
Jammer arms that were at the. I think Vern was actually using them in Chino Hills.
yeah,
so they're
yeah.
there. Those are the
They
ones that
are.
we saw there. Okay, yeah. All right. We got a question from Angel. So first we have a comment from Carp. He said, cool to see RitFit is always continue to update and evolve and you're listening to the community. I agree with that 100%. Angel said, Jammer arms for the M1, assuming new uprights are installed. So that's actually 2 questions.
I mean, yes and yes. Yeah, Jammer arms for the M1. Put them on 11 gauge uprights. Sounds good to me. The way that we're going to work with them, we should be able to utilize them on the existing uprights. I mean, we want our equipment to be, simple, strong, and effective, right? So whatever we come out with, we want it to be compatible with, the standard package that we have. I mean, again, but if we're making 11 gauge 2x2 uprights because people have asked for them, right? People are saying, hey, I'd like to upgrade. I'd like my rack to be a little stronger, right? I'm getting stronger. I just want 11 gauge, right? Some people say, right? So, but yeah, so the Jammer arms will work with the 14 gauge uprights. As of right now, that's the direction we're going. Is you could put them on the existing product at the 14 gauge. But Angel, if you'd like to, sounds like you were interested in the uprights, the 11 gauge. So it sounds like you're going to have both.
There you go. So now Kinsey has a question. Says some of your rack attachments that come with a bracket to connect to 3x3 uprights. Will the Jammer arms only be for 2x2?
So right now we're not going to have. So I know the brackets that Kinsey's talking about. And good morning, by the way, Kinsey. So we have a 2x2 and a 3x3, right? And then we have the other size. I believe it's 2.3. That will go on like our belt squat attachment or our hack squat attachment for the rack. So the Jammer arms, because of the pivoting system, that bracketry has to be pretty strong. So no, we won't have at this point the brackets that are going to go from one to the other, but we are going to have Jammer arms for 2x2s, and then for the M2, which is a 2.36 upright.
Okay. Another question from Angel. He wants to know the new uprights. Can you replace the back 2 uprights as well as the front?
As of right now, it is just the front 2 uprights.
All right. Okay. All right. That's all the questions we have so far. You guys keep these questions coming. So
yeah, no, they're good.
Keep going. Yeah.
So I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah, I can. Well, I can see it. I don't know if the people at home can see it, depending on what device they're using. There we go. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. So, I mean,
what do we have here?
Yeah. So abductor machine we're coming out with before the end of the year. Okay. So we've got a lot of. I mean, you could work out everything on a like our M1, right? You could work out everything that you want on it, right? You could do squats, you could do bench press, you could do arms, back, everything, right? But there's kind of nothing like having more gym equipment. When you talk about, okay, I got a rack. Well, it'd be nice to have a leg press, right? You get a leg press. It'd be nice to have a leg extension machine, right? You get a leg extension machine. So kind of one other product that, was kind of missing from our lineup was something like this, right? So you got your our extension, leg extension machine and the leg press. You could still work your adductors and all that, but typically you're going to work out your quads and your hamstrings, and your calves, right? So a lot of people, and then even, a lot of a lot of feedback from customers. Hey, I would love, if you go to the Facebook group, people are asking and they're like, hey, I need a adductor machine, right? When's that coming out? So that'll be out before the end of the year. I believe that's also going to be out in November. So
what's the footprint of this?
So I'll have to get back to you on that, John. So that's still, we're not released. Like our prototype is done. We've had a couple of actual prototypes that we worked through, but there's still some minor adjustments to this unit that we are making. So I don't have the official footprint, but I could get that.
I mean, obviously, if somebody is willing to buy a single, and there's people, Letha and Kinsey are obviously among the people who want this device. But it's looking to me, the reason why I asked that is because it's looking to me, based on the way that it's designed, that you're going to have your back to either a wall, or maybe I guess you could have your back to the center of the room. You can put it wherever you want. But in terms of like where I would put it, if it was in my gym, my back would be to the wall, right? Like we'd have it up against the wall. And so you'd have the red part and the front post out in like basically the walkway. And I guess you could also have it the other way around. So you could have your back facing the room and that center post is on the wall. But either way, if you do that, I'm just looking at like how far out into the room are you going to be sticking out? And if you did decide maybe you want to run it parallel to the wall, then that kind of, I guess it kind of depends on how flexible you are in terms of how far from the wall you need to be. If the wall's here and you're sitting now facing this way and the wall's on your side, you know what I'm saying? So you don't run into the wall on this side as you're doing on the eccentric, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was thinking about like, what's your footprint looking like? Okay. Carlos said the footprint is especially important for apartment gym folks like myself. Angel has a question going back to the M1. He wanted to know, if I wanted the back post to be 11 gauge as well, can I just purchase 4 uprights and replace all 4 posts?
So your the bolt pattern is slightly different on the back, because you're going to have you have like the RitFit logo sign. There's a back cross member on the rear uprights. So the bolt pattern's not going to match up. Have I seen, and obviously we don't recommend, modifying, the rack, right, or anything like that, but I have seen Angel's gym. It's huge. It's awesome.
Angel's Museum.
Yeah.
That's what he called it. He called it an equipment museum. All right.
So Angel's very creative. I'm sure he'll figure something out. But yeah, as of right now, the bolt patterns are different. So, and we wanted to focus on the uprights where most of the, I guess, action happens, right? So we want to focus on the front end. But yeah, as of right now, it's just the front uprights. But Angel, I think you could accomplish anything, brother.
All right. So Martin, I see your question about the M2. I'm gonna go ahead. You can go ahead and move on to the next thing, and then but I'll make sure that we ask your question, Martin, because that's actually a question I was going to ask as well, because somebody else posted a similar question on the YouTube channel.
John, here's your bench, brother.
Here we go. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. So we had the BWB01, which is, if you get on our website, it's the standard, basic workbench that we sell, or basic weight bench that we sell. Right. Then probably 4 months ago, we came out with the BWB02 and the BWB02 Pro. So one was, a little bit thinner gauge, a little bit smaller frame, and then we had one that was a little bit thicker frame. And
those are the ones we went over. You and I went over at Chino Hills in the live stream that we did.
Yeah. I believe, I mean, you were talking yesterday. I believe you had some experience with the BWB02. So
yes.
But yeah, so I mean, I think you and your wife had beta tested, kind of the original version, gave some feedback. We, had other customers give us feedback, and so we went through and let me zoom in here. You're talking about a closed ladder system. So if I get in close enough, John, you'll be able to see right here. So you still get your handle.
Yeah, gotta have my handle, man.
You have your closed ladder, and you have your closed ladder system, right?
Nice.
And then we also have these pads right here. So it's just going to support, right? So I've seen the look, right? What are those, right? But anyhow, you'll be able, because of the headrest being able to go down, you can actually lean forward on the bench and not have your face against the bench. So these pads are going to be able to help you do preacher curls, right? Or basically supports for your arms, because there's going to be different attachments, right? So you could basically sit down, kind of lock your elbows in place, right, and be able to just do, you know, curls off of the weight bench without having to, you know, get on a preacher curl bench or anything like that. So
so you'd be sitting out facing the pad, and you can use those the pads on the sides as preacher curl.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Or like a Scott curl. Okay.
Yeah, and so there'll be other uses for them, but yeah, so this will be the new one. The weight capacity has been increased. The mechanism that we use to adjust the headrest, if you want to call it the headrest, but the adjustable head portion is different. It's stronger than the last version, which was a single pot pin. But yeah, we'll have more details and more pictures around that, and we'll release that in the Get Fit with RitFit Facebook group. Basically, whenever we have more pictures and more information for the team, we'll release those. So that way anybody who's a part of that community could see, you know, what's coming out next.
To see it first.
Yeah, you'll get to see all the details.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm going to take that to mean that basically you don't have any pictures of it like in the 90-degree position.
No.
Right now. Okay. All right. So what's that gap looking like on the bench? Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah. So the gap is roughly 1.5 to 2 inches. I'll have to confirm, but I believe that's where we stand, is 1 inch to 1 inch or one.
That was the thing that's the thing that Naomi really liked about the two versions of the adjustable bench, of you guys' adjustable bench that we've seen in person, is that the gap was not as noticeable as the other 3-section adjustable benches that we've seen and tried.
So I could tell you, I know for a fact it is less than the BWB02, which is the one you guys had, slightly. So I can confirm that it is less than the O2 version.
Okay. Kinsey is already offered to be a reviewer on the abductor machine. She's graciously agreed to give her time. All right.
I hear you, Kinsey. All right. And then, so GHD bench, you know, just want to continue to offer products to you know, our customers, right? You know, versatility, right? We have, you know, rack systems, we have leg systems, right? You know, we just want to continue to add to our product availability for our customers. A lot of people have asked, and that's, you know, going back to the beginning part of this conversation, you know, why did I join the team, you know, and how did I get there and all that? Like, people have asked for these products, right, that are coming out. They're like, hey, I want 11 gauge uprights for my M1. I want jammer arms for my M1 and for the M2. I want, you know, a GHD machine. I want a hip adductor machine. So all these products that, you know, are coming out, you know, that our customers, and not our customers, but just the community has reached out and said, hey, you know, we'd like to have this, you know. So essentially that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to just support the community, you know, get out there and give the people what they want, right?
Yeah, definitely. I got a question about the bench, the adjustable bench. It doesn't currently, you said that there are going to be attachments for it. So when I looked at the end of the bench, it didn't look like there was a hole to accept it attached, like a leg extension leg curl or something like that. And I couldn't see the back, but it didn't look like there's anything to put like a dip attachment on there. So for people who are going to use this as their only bench, you know, they don't have like we have 2 benches here at the house, but some people have just one bench. So for people like that, are the attachments you're talking about for the bench, are they going to include things like that? Do you know?
So we're probably going to add on to the system where the pads are at, and going to try to integrate that with attachments. So like kind of on the center cross member, I think we're going to do something kind of proprietary and different than just a normal standard receiver and kind of hitch style attachment.
I like that. Okay. Angel said, so I own the upgraded beefy version of the 3-section bench. Would we be able to purchase an upgrade kit to bring it up to par with this version?
It's a good question, Angel. I'll look into it for you, brother.
There we go. All right. He'll have your answer by the time you show up with the pizza.
That's right.
He's in the car now, so that may be a lie. Martin says, will all the M1 attachments coming out work with the 11 gauge uprights?
Yeah, the outer diameter and the hole sizing is going to be the same. So all of it'll be a standard 2x2 upright. So any attachments that we already have for the 2x2 racks or just in general, right? Out in the marketplace will still fit, the 2x2 11 gauge. So the OD and ID, or sorry, the outer diameter OD is going to be the same as it is right now. The inner diameter is obviously going to change because you're going to thicker gauge.
Right. And then, so I'll go ahead and just ask this right here. Martin says, hey, Matt, I posted a question in the Facebook group about the extra weight stacks for the M2 and if there's a way to add 2 extra plates to the M1 weight stack. And that's, I think, similar to the question that, because you guys dropped the video with Luke's Garage Gym on Tuesday. And I saw the question this question in the comments from Sylvania F91. He or she asked, will the weight stacks be offered as a separate upgradable option like they are for the M1 since they're out of stock now? So can you?
It's twofold. I got
yeah.
Yeah. So
Do the best
Martin,
you can.
great question. I think I like the way you think actually. So yes, can you add 1 weight plate to each side of the weight stacks? The answer for the M1 is yes. Okay. Do we offer a la carte stacks, for purchase at this point? Not right now, but I did bring that up to the team already. So we're going to work through that, see if that's something that we can make available. But yeah, the center bar right there for the weight stacks does have an additional pin. You can add an additional weight stack to there. So the answer is yes for that. And then for the M2, the M2, is it to add the extra weight plates, or will they be available as a separate purchase?
Will they be offered as a separate upgradable option like they are for the M1?
Yeah, so I talked to the rest of the team, the logistics team and the leadership team. And so we're going to try to make that an option. I mean, John, you and I talked yesterday. We want things to be simple, strong, and effective, and then we want them to be affordable. Right. So the way that we're able to provide some of the deals that we get sometimes, especially from a package perspective, is because the size of the container, the weight of the container all play a part into, the cost it takes to ship. Right. We offer free shipping. So that price is all, all included. So when you ship, a few hundred pounds or a couple hundred pounds separately in different boxes, and usually when you ship a weight stack, it's not 1 box. No. Right, weight stacks, right? So we're able to provide a better deal as a package right now than shipping them separately. But the team said that they will consider basically having the upgradable option for the weight stacks for the M2.
Gotcha. All right. And this is another one that's kind of like, this one goes back to the abductor machine. Angel wants to know if it will have the ability to recline, and will there be a plate loaded version of it as well?
As of right now, I have not seen and have not talked to the R&D team or engineering team about a plate loaded style machine. It'll be the one that we'll be offering is going to be the weight stacked option.
All right. Let's see here. All right. So was that the last one? Or do you have more? So I want to make sure we get through all of it.
The Buffalo Wild, that was, let me share the screen again.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Buffalo Wild, I think you could see my screen now. Again, there it goes. Yeah, so the Buffalo Wild, we kind of brought it out to Home Gym Con, and we were like, hey, right, prototype is coming out. So we made a few modifications to that. This picture is actually not even the latest and greatest. Okay. We've made some additional adjustments to like our Smith machine, right, to get, even further down on the Smith machine for doing, RDLs, right, or any type of movements that you need that to go lower for your range of motion. But yeah, so it'll have the weight stacks. It'll have your 2-to-1, 1-to-1 cable ratios, the upgraded leg press plate. But yeah, so we have another version of this coming out in December.
is that a landmine on the
Yeah.
right? Do you guys? I don't remember from Home Gym Con, but do you guys have a thing to secure the landmine in the upright position when it's not in use, so it doesn't flop down?
Not currently, but that is an option. There's an option we could consider and look into. But yeah, no.
I mean, I realize they'll get in the way of that pulley, but just having something so that, because basically that's one of the most annoying things with any landmine, that fact that it flops down, you got to figure out where to put it so you don't trip over it when you're not using it, because it inevitably ends up being in the way as you're walking by and not paying attention. You're thinking about something else.
Right.
So
good point.
All right. And so I saw a question, I think it was in the Facebook group. It says, why is the leg hold down attachment only available for the M2?
Going back to weight gauges and thicknesses and, what could support what, right? So you talk about a leg press, or sorry, a seated, something you're going to sit down on a single upright at 14 gauge. Potentially, right, your body's out here connected to the rack over here, right? Just that the way that the mechanism will work is, the way to distribute away out here is going to be significantly more on that 14 gauge upright. So as of right now, I mean, we are going to 11 gauge uprights, for the M2 as an option.
Yeah.
So there might be an additional option, for that seat that you could attach. But as of right now, like for the example, the jammer arms, you're going to have, weight out there, but where it attaches to and the way that it moves, it's going to work fine with the 14 gauge.
Okay.
Putting a seat where, depending on the user, right, there's going to be definitely like, some restrictions on weight. So for the M2, it makes sense for us to do because of the gauge and thickness of material. For the M1, with what is available right now, it does not. Safe, simple, strong, and effective, right? We want everybody to be fine. So
you just talked me into why 11 gauge is the best. See, that's the thing that people, and in fact, I argue with Vern about this.
Well, why not 6? Let's go 6. Let's do 6, right? No,
well,
I think
okay, no. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it's like more. It's like if it's 11 gauge, it's going to be able to handle all of the different things. Whereas with 14 gauge, you have some inherent limitations. Obviously, if cost is the problem, then you need to go 14 gauge. But ultimately, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of something that you're going to be able to pass. Like most people don't go through power racks; they buy one and they're done, right? And so to me, it's like, hey, kind of in line with what you guys are doing. Is like, can you get something that you can then keep for the rest of your life, pass on to your grandkids, and then they can pass it on to their great grandkids. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I like 11 gauge steel. It looks like Angel didn't hear your answer. Could you repeat your answer about the recline option on the abductor adductor?
So no, as of right now, that is not. It is a fixed seat.
Okay. And
there's still some modifications before we release it. So I mean that's a
potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he also wants to know if the current Buffalo owners will be able to upgrade to the Wild version. No,
there's a lot that goes into the 2-to-1, 1-to-1 ratio. The framing is different. The cable routing is different. So it would be, you would be left with very little amount of pieces from the previous rack or previous version of the Buffalo if you were to upgrade. So pretty much you'd be replacing 3/4 of the rack. So no, they're not interchangeable.
Martin has another one. He wants to know if there'd be color options.
Yes, I don't have all the colors available for you right now, but yes, there will be color options, and they will probably be our standard black, red, and pink. Yeah, I mean, we're talking to the group about what about like earth colors, right? Tans, beiges, right? Brown. I mean, there's a market out there. People like their gym. That's their space, right? Like how do you want your space to be? And so yeah, we're looking at not just our standard color options, but potentially others.
So here's the thing I want to say to people who talk about the different colors, right? It's like, this is kind of like, it takes like, you kind of have to put yourself in, kind of look at it from a different viewpoint, right? So the reason why you want this hypothetical person or whatever, right? You want a specific unusual color. It's because you want it to look unique. You don't want it to look like everybody else. But from the standpoint of a brand, and if I'm wrong, Matt, go ahead and correct me. I'm happy to be wrong. But from the standpoint of a brand, they need a lot of people to want that color, which then makes it not unique. But that's what makes it cost effective enough for them to spend the time, manpower, and resources on making that color for you. So if you're like, well, I want this color so it doesn't look like everybody else's rack. Well, rack, for example, but it's so unique that it makes the cost go up for the brand, then it just doesn't make sense to have it. There's a reason why black is the least expensive. It's because you can find a lot of people who are willing to buy a black power rack or a red power rack or a pink one, if that makes sense. Yeah. So am I right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot goes into play when you talk about, manufacturing, the products that we do, the colors, the packaging, right? There's a lot that goes into play, and you're 100% right. We had talked yesterday about what does RitFit do when they get feedback, from a customer. One, we listen to it. I mean, I don't know if Ashley's still in the viewing here, but shout out to her. But yeah, I mean, there was just comments yesterday, right? That she had left feedback, of equipment, myself and the team, review and we look at, right? Not just influencers, right? We go through almost pretty much every YouTube channel. We're in Reddit, we're in Facebook, we're on Instagram, right? Constantly looking for that feedback. So, but yeah, enough people the market needs to tell us, right? Hey, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want, right? And as a brand, how are we able to do that and still continue to be true to self, simple, strong, and effective? So that's where the brand is from, like the colors, right? Yeah, it is more expensive, but if the market calls for it, if there's enough of the people that want it, we'll do it. That's why we're releasing, some of the stuff that we're releasing.
We got a few more questions, but I want to make sure we got through all of the product updates because I want to make sure we value your time.
Yep.
Okay. So Angel has three questions. First, is the M2 3D Smith machine available as a standalone? He said you could kill it. You guys would kill it if people could purchase it and install it on racks regardless of brand. And also he wants it on his M1 in Buffalo.
So Angel, the 3D Smith, yeah. So probably 4 weeks ago, Lynn, so she's ahead of the product team, so shout out to her. But yeah, so she already asked me because like I said, I took the M2 back home after Home Gym Con, and we're releasing the version, right, that after some feedback was given from Home Gym Con and from myself, right? Okay. There's been some modifications made, but we're already looking at hey, what's next, right? So for the M2, right, we want it to stand alone. We want it to be very different from the M1. So we're still, before we go and make that available that could be added to another rack system, or even the M1, we want to make sure that it is the best it can be, right? Since we have the version out there that is good and that does what it needs to do. I mean, John, I think we've seen you actually, you kind of admitted that you kind of liked Smith machines.
I don't remember saying that. I don't remember. I definitely didn't say that. What I said is that there's one exercise that you can only do on the Smith machine. All right. I don't. Yeah, I remember what I say. No. Nice try. I respect your effort. Yep. No, I didn't say that. I'm on video saying there's one exercise you can only do on the Smith machine, and I like the exercise, but since I don't like it enough to buy a Smith machine just for that.
Yeah. But yeah, so the 3D option, John, right now it is not available, and there's not plans right now for it to be available as a standalone purchase.
Gotcha. All right, Angel has 3 questions about weight plates, so I'm just going to throw them together. Do you have any updates on transparent bumper plates? And he wants to know if you are going to offer purple plates, and then any chance of getting pink fractional plates because he said he had to buy third-party brands, pink fractional plates, so he can match the RitFit plates from his wife.
Angel, just come drive down over here, brother. We'll have a conversation and talk all about what's
Bring the
coming out.
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, bring the pizza. Let's go.
Right.
But yeah, the transparent weight plates, Angel, those are kind of in a parking lot right now. We have the focus is really going to be on, Q4, getting these items out there, release, for our customers. So the transparent bumper plates are in basically a parking lot on hold, waiting on us to continue, to get these products out here for Q4. So they're in a parking lot right now.
All right.
And then closed ladder. Well, I'm just going through the comments here.
Yeah.
So ladder system. Will it fall over when stored? So there's a basically. I'll share the screen real quick again.
I'll say that the previous versions did not fall over.
There's a basically a little mechanism here. Could you see the screen? Yeah. So right here on the front end, when you lift it up, basically you have a flat stop right here. So it's going to rest right, on the wheels and then on this stop right here that goes across the headboard, right? So yeah, no, I store mine that I have right side up. I have no issues with it. That's actually what that's designed for, is so you can store it in the upward position. So the closed ladder system, yes. Will it fall over when stored upright? No.
All right. And then Martin has a plate question. He wants to know about that flag bumper plate, when that's going to be released.
Yeah, I'll have to get an update and join our Get Fit with RitFit group, because all the answers to some of these questions that I'll have to some follow up with, I'll go ahead and release that all out there. And then John, I'll also send that to you, so you could spread that to all your viewers here. But yeah, I can get an update.
No, I was just going to say that those plates that we saw the plates at the showroom right now are an upgrade to the ones that you guys first did. So it makes sense that you haven't released them yet, because unlike a certain company I was talking about earlier that likes to make their customers beta test their products, RitFit is not intentionally doing that. So I'm seeing a lot of the stuff that you guys are asking about. And I saw a lot of stuff at the showroom. So if you're in California, go to the Chino Hills showroom. You'll see a lot of stuff there. Heck, you can actually buy some of that stuff that's there. But you'll see why some of it isn't available on the website yet, because they're still in the testing phase of it. And that was even during the grand opening. People were giving feedback. I know Vern gave feedback. I gave some feedback too about some of the different products that they had there, that you guys had there. So if you can get there, and Kinsey, I'll say that I know that you're in Utah, so it's a little bit of a trip for you to get to California, but I promise you, if you can get out to Chino Hills, it's definitely worth your trip to get out to Chino Hills. All right.
And then back to Angel's question. So the fractional plates, I'll bring that to the team. So we've just released the fractional plates not too long ago. Not many color available options, when we first released them. So it's something we could take a look at, and I'll get with the team and just give them the feedback and let them know, hey, people are starting to ask.
One thing, this is the last one for me. I wanted to make sure, because you guys have a thing going on right now. So the M2, you guys have an early bird deal. You get 2 free gifts. So I pulled it up on screen so people can see it. You buy the M2, and then you can select 2 free gifts out of this group of 5. So if you want to expand on it, what's the deadline to take advantage of this? Obviously, they can do it now. What's the deadline to take advantage of this? And let's go ahead and expand on that a little bit before we close.
The early bird promotion is 15%, and that's going to go through the end of the month. So, and then you could also choose 2 out of 5 accessories as free promotional gifts. So yeah, that'll be lasting until the end of this month, and then our next kind of big sale is going to be coming up for Black Friday. But yeah, so you could choose 2 of the 5 free gifts with your purchase, 15% off, and that'll go to the end of the month.
Awesome. All right, man. So I just showed the website. So obviously everybody needs to go check out RitFitSports.com. But if they want to like it's like sounds to me like the best place to get really plugged in is to go join the Get Fit with RitFit group on Facebook. But if you're someone who, like me, actually doesn't like Facebook as a platform in general, I hate Facebook. I go on there of necessity, kicking and screaming every time. But if somebody's like that, where are the other places that they need to go in order to get connected to RitFit?
Yeah, so I mean, we're everywhere, social media. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on, we're on Reddit. So yes, for new product information and just getting plugged into the RitFit community, join the Get Fit with RitFit Facebook group. And then Instagram, a lot of our major announcements come out on there. Between the Get Fit with RitFit group and Instagram, we kind of make some of announcements on Instagram and then translate those back and forth between the two. But yeah, follow us on Instagram, RitFit Sports, and then Get Fit with RitFit community. There's lots of challenges that are specific to the Get Fit with RitFit group, where there's lots of promotions. Last year, those who participated, I think there was 10 to 15 individuals that got free weight stacks for the M1s, right? There was lots and lots of gift cards. We're doing an M1 challenge starting the beginning of October, where you could get, I believe it's up to 9 different attachments for free to work out for 21 days. Nice. Right? The only thing that you have to have is have a M1 rack. So, right. Use it for 21 days. And right, participate, there's obviously, you got to follow step 1, step 2, register and all that. But yeah, so there's a lot of goodies, freebies, promotional and good information that'll come out in the Get Fit with RitFit group. And then we plan on doing, some AMA type events, right? Ask me anything, going live with so just be out on the lookout, for RitFit to go live here coming up for some Ask Me Anything type events. But
I was going to say that I actually wanted to, maybe I shouldn't be saying this with everybody listening, but too late now. I was saying there's a way to co-stream. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like it'd be on my channel and on the RitFit channel, YouTube channel as well. So I'm definitely down to do something like that. Okay. Just broaden the reach or whatever. We can we can unpack all that offline though. Yep. So Martin said, thanks for answering questions. We appreciate he appreciates me and you. It's my pleasure, man. That's why we exist. You thank us by spreading the word. So spread the word about Get Fit with RitFit and spread the word. Ask people to subscribe to Garage Gym Life, because the bigger my platform, the easier it is for me to get people like Matt to come on here, because I can prove that it's worth their time. So like this was really productive. He got to interact with a lot of you guys. But if I don't, my platform is not big enough, then the ROI just isn't there for somebody to wake up at 3 a.m. to go down to their job at 5 a.m. to get on a live stream. So that's the biggest thing. And last question from Angel before we close out. Do you have any updates on the prototypes of the leg extension and the chest press?
Yeah, so I've seen the new leg extension based off of the feedback that we got at Home Gym Con. We've made quite a few different adjustments to it. We're still working on some adjustments. We really want to make sure that it's when it's out there, it's what it's supposed to be, right? We don't just want to release it. But yeah, we made a lot of adjustments since the Home Gym Con prototype that we had over there, and then the Gazelle. So we have the BLP basic leg press that we originally had launched. That's one I bought back in like 2023. And then we have the Gazelle Pro, and now we will be having the Gazelle, which has a 6-inch increase in range of motion compared to the Gazelle Pro. It's a little bit more narrower and smaller footprint, a little less capacity. It's 1,600 pound capacity for the Gazelle Pro, or for the Gazelle versus the Pro, which is 2,000 pounds. So, but yeah, so that one will be coming out within the next. You'll see it on the website probably within the next 30 days. For the Gazelle, for the leg extension, we're still working on it. It'll come soon, but we're still working on it.
All right, man. This was fun, and I knew that we were going to get a ton of feedback. We're going to get a ton of people asking you questions, and I also knew. I told him 45 minutes, but I was like, I bet you we're going to go over time. So I appreciate your patience and your time and getting up super early to come and ask questions. I'll try to schedule the next one for when you're in Ohio so that it won't be quite so brutal. Yeah. So it won't be quite as brutal. But man, I really do appreciate it, man. And congratulations on your position. I love seeing people succeed and something that they're passionate about, because I think that those are the people who are going to be the most successful. So there you go. Is the new chest press lying or standing? Rex wants to know. Wasn't it lying down, the chest press?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lying down. You can actually see it, Rex, if you look on our Home Gym Con coverage of the RitFit booth. You can see it in that video. So you'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about. All right. Anyway, if I don't let you get out of here now, they will never let you leave. So I got to let you go right now. Hey, shout out to the West Coast. Matt, thank you for being here. Man, this was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to have you back on there. I'll hit you up about some of the other stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything. John, thanks for the invitation. Glad to share any information that I can, for the community, So again, if there's any feedback or any further questions that anybody has, just get on that Get Fit with RitFit group. We'll get on there and answer you guys back. So appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, my man. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks.
Go have breakfast. But no coffee.
But Denny's is across the street. No coffee.
No coffee.
All right.
Later, man.
See you guys.
All right. So that was my guy, Matt Baleanu, with RitFit. And that was a lot of fun. I knew that we were going to get a lot of comments and questions. And you guys, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and still put your comments, any questions you have in the comments, because Matt has promised that he will come back and answer those questions in the comments, or as many of them as he can, especially in the first couple of days. So that's it for today's show. Shout out to Matt from RitFit once again for making this one a success. Shout out to all of you who watched and commented. We got another great episode planned for next week. But in the meantime, keep posting in the community section. Keep sharing our channel link to help us grow so I can get more cool guests like Matt on here. And most of all, keep stacking days.